grossly overestimated how much time I had. Because what I did was I realized that I live by the whiteboard. The whiteboard controls everything. Once it's written on the whiteboard, it is a thing that shall be. And several days ago, I update the whiteboard a couple times a week. And I penned it in on Tuesday, I think, was the last time that I wiped it. And I bumped everything up on Tuesday. And I write next to 515. It says 5/15 : live. And then there's a dash. And then I never wrote anything in. I typically like to prepare something that we can work on. You know, just to pass the time, right? But I didn't. So about 45 minutes ago, I said, can I get enough parts together to throw something together for one of the giveaways? When? I don't know. The Bushido should be next. It is on the recording schedule for Monday. So I haven't even filmed that yet. But as I was assembling one of these, as I was assembling this one, I realized if I dig around, I can probably build a second one, and I can. Are AR-45 diff covers the same as AR-44? No. AR-44 diff covers are unique to AR-44. AR-45 diff covers are unique to AR-45. So the short of the long answer to that is no. No, it is not. So, dug through the bins, dug through the stuff that has come in boxes and whatnot. We've got a full set of F10 portals. We've got a full set of F10 straights. One of these gearboxes has got a 56-tooth spur in it. One of these gearboxes has a 52-tooth spur in it. So the 56 would go with the straights. The 52 would go with the portals. So what we're going to do, we're going to make some small effort to build a pair of RTR-ish stances. They're basically stances, stance rails, stance gearboxes, and then whatever I managed. I just was like, do I have two of these? Yes. Do I have two of these? Yes. Do I have two sets of the body mounts? Yes. Do I have two rear bumper deletes? Yes. Did I dig around enough links that I hope we can, surprisingly, with the number of stances that have come through here, I don't have enough of the skinnies to do all of the uppers. I do have enough high clearance to do the lowers, and one of them is going to get some TRX4 links because they're the closest that I could find for rear uppers. I have many sizes of links, but I mostly only have the sizes that don't get used. So Vanquish also huge fans of just like, we could have used an 85, but we're going to use an 83.5. And we're the only ones that are going to use that. So you're either going to stretch your wheelbase by using some other link or shorten it or what have you. And I don't know if those are the correct length tie rod. We'll find out. And we're going Mias rod ends. You can ask yourself why. If you want to know why we're going Mias rod ends, it's because I only have a couple of them. I was sent in by a lovely gentleman from Texas. He sent in this rod end tool, and I'm a huge fan. The Rock Tech episode 1 is Sunday. Sunday. Rock Tech episode 2 will either be, and I have to bump stuff. Like, stuff's already uploaded, stuff is already scheduled. I have to bump stuff. Episode 2 records tomorrow and will go up. I'm hoping to get it up on Tuesday. We'll see what I have to move around to get it there. I bought a used Sendero and it has a Stealth X, not the XF. Did they come with the regular X initially? Yes. Only the SEs come with the XF. All of the others came with the Stealth X. Are the skinny links that come in VS410 kits, etc., work for what you need? I have some here unused if needed. Well, I mean, that's what I'm using, right? It's not. I just wanted to build 2 things that were cosmetically identical, and they'll be close. They'll be close enough. Close enough that I don't think we need to ship questionable quality 4mm Vanquish links all the way from the UK. Something. Indeed! So the man from Texas has 3D printed this little guy. It just pops onto a quarter drive adapter. And you know what? My ordinary is the Knuckle Shredder 3000. We're all aware of the Knuckle Shredder 3000. These edges, if they haven't caught you yet, they will. This thing, all he did was make a plus shape that's kind of wider at the opening and shallower at the bottom. I have not found a rod end that this tool won't drive. Element, Axial, Mias, Traxxas, and I mean Traxxas TRX4. It's fantastic. He said in his little letter, there's some other stuff from him that I'm testing shortly. It's on the whiteboard. He mentioned that he had put him up on Facebook Marketplace, this exact little tool. And then people were like, I'm not paying that kind of money for just a little bit of 3D printing. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like the marketplace as we know it. Is this too wide? Oh, it's actually, oh, nice, perfect. It's actually a little long. Ooh, I really cranked that down. I mean, don't think I didn't think about building another pair of twins or putting VFDs in the twins. But no, the twins will get Stealth XFs. That's how it's going to work. Just as soon as Element makes good on their ain't nobody believing it promises on, what were they posted? Facebook, Instagram. What's the difference? I logged into, I would say don't get me started on Facebook, but I'm getting myself started on it anyway. I have like 3,500 followers on Facebook. I don't understand. Who are these people? I don't update Facebook ever. And somehow have 2.5 times the followers that I do on Instagram, which I do update every once in a while. I have 25% as many followers on Facebook by doing nothing as I do on YouTube, where I upload a video every day. So you can't predict what's going to happen. So, no, the brothers are the brothers. The brothers are staying the way they are because they're fairly easy to work on. And there's a reason, at least I think, in my head, I believe there's a reason that we don't see a lot of clone VFDs very forward and down. And I think that the reason behind that is it drastically limits your fitment. Some people would make arguments to the contrary, and when I say people, I mean those people. And the argument that they would try to make is that the VFD isn't as specialized in fitment as a TRX4 gearbox, but it absolutely is. Watched a video earlier. The motor on a lathe is called variable feed drive, or VFD. I wonder if there's a trademark on the name. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I am aware that Facebook does, and it is a Meta product, owns Instagram. But this implies I've got like 1,100 or 1,200 followers on Instagram. Woo! I have like 3,500 on Facebook. So this implies to me that there's at least 2,000 people that go on Facebook but don't go on Instagram. I'm kind of the opposite. I tend to go on Instagram but not on Facebook. I got a good deal on wheels and tires for my Chevy Silverado, $600 for a full set of brand new tires. You can really feast or famine on Facebook Marketplace. There are people that get incredible deals, and then there are people that are listing up things that they clearly have no intention of trying to sell. You can come and get this. I put all the custom work I put into this Red Cat Gen 8. I mean, you have to see it to appreciate it. $900. And I'm like, that guy clearly does not want to sell his Red Cat Gen 8 under any circumstances. When are you ever the measure of the masses? I'm not. It inspired me to build a mini sporty out of parts hanging around, 10.2 LCG, 30% OG, Temper Gen 2, and a Toyota. Hey, I brought a 1970s two-stroke triple for $500. See, I mean, Marketplace is now turning into what, I mean, let's not talk about moving in just concentric circles, but Facebook Marketplace is turning into what eBay once was and now is not at all. A TF2 4Runner for $1,100. Yeah. You gotta get that thing out of here. All right, babe, I'll put it up on Facebook Marketplace. $1,100. I've seen ones relatively locally in the SoCal area where someone will list up literally an entire collection, like 10 rigs, and he's like, $35,000, will not part out. And I'm like, that's almost transparent, as in that guy has no intention of selling any of that stuff. So good on him. Good on him. I prefer those, or I prefer the ones that are just, I know what I got, ludicrously overpriced, because, you know, they give you a good chuckle, you know, because Meta will do them no favors, and it will put two side by side, where it's one guy trying to sell his Traxxas UDR for $1,800, and there's a guy selling a UDR right next to it for $450. And you're like, well, the micro guys are the worst. Somebody had a UTB 18 completely stock, but he put like 1.9475s on it. So they were like, they were almost touching. They were so enormously huge. And he was selling it for like $300 because, you know, it's got those mods on it, man. Yeah, the micro guys think that every part added is an investment, and that therefore now it will be worth more. I was given a Traxxas Wrestler this week. Yeah, luckily, thankfully, you do love to see it. There is a growing number of people out in the universe that just have my philosophy, which is I could go through the hassle and shipping it and this much money, you know, going into the outright bureaucracy of trying to sell something on the internet, where PayPal or whoever you're using for money, they take their cut. eBay or whoever you're selling through takes their cut. Next thing you know, you've made half of what you would have liked to have gotten for it. So, more often than not, I just need the space. And let's be real simple and plain about it. Do I need 2 more VFD stance rail based VRD geometry rigs? No. Would they be much better served with maybe that guy who says, I ain't never gonna buy a Vanquish? So a lot of guys, local guys, will give you any parts as long as it's not currently on a rig. Yeah. I'm more of the, I'll put all the parts together and then give it away as a whole. Because if I lose parts, if I have loose parts, I'm going to turn them into something big. The 5TE has one primary failing, and that's that it no longer has a weed whacker engine in it. A huge part of the allure of the Losi 5 is that it runs on gasoline, or ran on gasoline. The number 2 thing that it has going against it is 99% of people have never seen a Losi 5 up close. It's the size of a lawnmower. Like, it's enormous. Wherever you live, unless you live in like the Great Plains of some of your region, whatever the Great Plains are where you live, you don't have enough room to drive it. It's enormous, and no matter what they've done, no matter what trickery might be afoot, I'm an electric guy. Every vehicle in here is electric. And if the one vehicle in here was going to be not electric, it'd be a Losi 5 with a weed whacker engine on it. Baja 5. You know? A bunch of people think their stuff is worth more than it is, and another bunch of people think that everyone's stuff ain't worth nothing. It's true. There's definitely a Venn diagram to be had there. I know what I got, and it's used. It's worth 10% of what you paid for it. That dovetails nicely into the, for every guy that will tell you how much he spent, there's another guy who will actively tell you how much he saved. The Baja 5s are comparable and cheap on eBay, but they're way too loud. Adjust the carburetor on Saturday morning and your neighbors will love you. Hey, you know what? If I'm driving a 5, I don't care. I think it's more the fact that people don't realize things depreciate a lot more than they appreciate in value. A lot of people, and to grossly overgeneralize, I think a lot of people think everything appreciates. They don't think anything loses value. How many times have you seen the Facebook Marketplace or similar listing where the listing is, say, they did something like this? They bought a rig, a kit, let's say, and they put it together, and now they're like, I'm going to sell it to you for either what it costs to buy the kit or a little bit more, because presumably, I don't know, their labor, like you have to pay them for putting it together. I mean, some rando on the internet putting something together is not a guarantee of, it's not an automatic guarantee of quality. We have no idea if they know what they're doing. Are you going to be at the Scale Town event in Apple Valley tomorrow? I have no plans of doing so. You mentioning it now is the first time I've ever heard of it. So I would say no. Local events, and I am on the Facebooks every now and again. I I never see any updates about anything. I'm going to have to go and actively hunt to find where to buy a ticket for Proline by the Fire, which is 6 months away. Have you ever four-linked a VS 410 Zuko chassis? With VFD, the clearance between the drive shaft and upper link is next to nothing, even with the screw reversed. Yes, I have. More than once, I think. Let me see. Well, I wonder if FF would be this. Well, no, I have both. I have both. Let's just fill the bench with Vanquish. Okie doke. So this is same, but different. This is an FF, but it's got a VFD in it, so it's same enough. So there's, oh, let's see. I didn't turn on camera 2. I don't even know if he's alive. Is that 2? Blink. All right, so there's my clearance there. And that is, yeah, stock skid. It is on a stubby. I don't think that's going to make any difference, but the clearance seems acceptable. And then yeah. I think this will be a lot closer to what to what is being described. There's, yeah, buddy. It's still got, there's what? Millimeter and a half? Now this is a twin. So is there a difference there? Possibly. This is the Zoku skid for stubby. Oh, so both of these are on stubbies. But yeah, I think that's more what he's talking about. So depending on the drive shaft, yeah, that's gonna be really close. But that's a 7.5 millimeter ball. I could put a 7 millimeter ball on there and free up a tiny bit more space. Are those Mullet chassis rails we're looking on the bench? Oh God, what a disgusting phrase. There's no such thing as a Mullet chassis rail. The Mullet just uses VRD rails. And a VRD rail is made out of carbon, and a stance rail is made out of aluminum. And those are your differences. To the best of my knowledge, there's no such thing as a Mullet rail. The Mullet is not an individual thing. It is a ruination of a thing that already exists. It's a bodge job. Because they had every opportunity to do something correctly, and in the face of that, they chose to do it incorrectly. I don't know if that was a hustle to get to market. I don't know what that was. But I know that there's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it. I still think the Mullet rails are slightly shorter for some reason. There you go. They're carbon, though, aren't they? I don't know. I would have no interest in ever purchasing one. I've never held one in my hands. I mean, I have Vanquish Mullets, but I thought they chopped the rails on the Mullet kit short. I don't know. The man from Oklahoma says that they're shorter. Therefore, I believe it. Mullet uses different chassis rails. There you go. I can guarantee you I don't have any. Maybe it's the stubby. I'm using SE 1200 and barely have room to clear the screw head. Well, I mean, I had like 1.5 millimeters. If you're on stock drive shafts, the plastic CVD-ended guys are going to be a little bit bigger. But if I got one of the Amazon Loud Xboxes, could I use the RTR optional OD gears? Yeah, you absolutely can. I don't explicitly know the use case. Well, no, I do. There is one potential use case for the all-metal Stealth X, which we call Loud X, despite the fact that it's actually not loud. But I'll call it, well, I never ran it with the spur that it comes with, so I don't know. You could potentially make it loud. The use case of that is if you are outside of the continental U.S. I have been told that the Stealth X can be expensive, and you can get the RC Lions version fairly inexpensively. So that's definitely an option for people. It's a shame, though, that it didn't come with the 18% underdrive that it states on the box. But, you know, the people outside the United States are paying less for the fake one. I tell everybody, if you want a mullet, it doesn't cost that much to build one. You could convert a VRD into a mullet relatively inexpensively. You could just put a straight axle on the front of it, buy an H-Tech mulletizer, and you're done. That was weird. It's like there's no way that battery is dead. I was thinking of putting it in a TGH hog chassis because I want to make it a trail rig and don't want the 30% OD with the element axles. 30%. I don't even know if you can get to 30% on element axles. No, you can get to 25. Yeah, it's 6.5 in there. Should be fine for a trail rig. You can get away with the 12. I run 10 to 12 on most trail rigs. I think I just ruined one. That's all right. Different length and shock tower heights. Well, never claimed to know everything. My lack of knowledge is centered around the mullet. Absolutely fine with that. I have to be up around 6 mullets now. And none of them have their rear axle bodged together. Robert the computer guy with a 10. Coming in with the first 10. What do you say, Walkies? How have you been?
Good. I've come to remind you about something.
Is it the bread?
Yes.
To the people of the Pacific Northwest. Oh, yeah. Mias Nylon portal and reverse gear is just as easy as the H-Check reversing box. That's true. Well, for the people who want to keep it all Vanquish, but no, he's absolutely right. Probably cheaper to just put a Mias rear axle on it. But maybe even cheaper still, maybe just build one yourself out of whatever you would like. Mias will help you out. They will sell you individual axles. I don't know if Mias has mullet sets yet, but I do know they will sell you an individual portal axle and an individual straight axle. So yeah, the use case for the H-Tech mulletizer is actually pretty narrow. You have to want to build an all... I got those completely different lengths. You have to want an all Vanquish mullet. And it would definitely be more economical to build it some other way.
I can't find the picture. But I know I sent it to you.
Go, oh.
Like around this time.
I was going to say go to the...
the group one? I already
No,
looked.
you go to your photos, and the photos are all rife with AI now. So you go to your photos, and in the little search menu, you type bread on the little magnifying glass. Just type bread and see if it finds your bread. See?
What the heck?
Okay. So anyone who lives in the Pacific Northwest, my wife was recently in Rockport, Washington. And when she was there, she ate this bread. Franz gluten-free. The wife can't have the glutens. She ate this Franz gluten-free. Oh, I've looked on the internet. Thank you, Jimbo. I've looked on the internet. You cannot find that bread in California. If anybody can find this bread, I will send you money or something in the equivalent of money to send my wife Franz preferably gluten-free everything bread, because apparently it only exists in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know. I know that the mullet-free, I know that the gluten-free options around here are limited, which is surprising, right? There's a bunch of people, particularly in this locale, that are like, oh, yes, darling, I've gone gluten-free, even though they don't need to. So, what do I do if I tried to build it myself, bought a bunch of bits off eBay, and then realized I don't know what I'm doing and have 3 half-built crawlers? Well, then you keep going. You build 3 full crawlers. That's how you end up right here. The only thing is the math. The easiest possible mullet to build is a TRX4 rear axle. Source that through Jenny's. Any front straight axle you like. F10, Mias Nylon, AR44, AR45 10 Pro, whatever front axle you want. And a Creeper T case in the middle, flipped around to feed the 30% underdrive to the front axle. You don't need any kind of reversing, because the TRX4 axle naturally is effectively reverse rotation. So they will rotate the same direction any other straight axle and a TRX4 rear. That's, in my mind, that's the easiest mullet to build. Because you got you can do Creeper T if you want to run FMM. If you don't want to run FMM, you can open yourself up to the mounting horror of the Tulo. Again, flip the shafts around so that the 30% output is to the front. And then you don't have to do a bunch of math. You don't have to tinker with portal gears. You don't have to put reverse gears in the thing. You don't have to do none of it. I bought the Mias Nylon straight front nylon portal rear. OD difference is 36% with just a reverse cut 830 in the year. If you want 25%, throw an 833 in the front. Trans can be 1-1 outputs. There you go. I would put that as second best, the all Mias. And the all Mias like that works well because the front is offset. I have a Tulo and a Creeper T and some red cut axles that I took off and an element front axle. I wonder if I could do that. Yeah. I have indeed checked Sprouts. I'll be at the Sprouts in about 3.5 hours. Because that's where the coffee clutch is, where I get my Friday coffee drink. And I've been looking forward to my Friday coffee drink since Wednesday. I'm okay. You know what? I'm absolutely okay with Dutch Brothers. I only drink one thing. It's not nearly as good as Coffee Clutch, but it's okay. I take my kid out once a week and get him a drink, and they always get some sort of weird fruit refresher or some nonsense. I call it nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. My Mullet's TRX4 Air 44 front with underdrive stealth axe with 11% to the rear on a Mullet takeoff trailer. Yeah, TRX4 rear. I'm 1 millimeter shorter on this one. TRX4 rear is just easy. Enjoy a 10C chassis kit. Mias Nylon front and portal rear. 833 front reverse gear out back. Puts you around 22%. Yeah. Ooh, job interview. That guy's going to return to being a productive member of society. For those unaware, the Spud man keeps getting jobs, and then they're like, oh, by the way, now that we've hired you for this job, what we need you to do is get on that 60-foot man lift. Or what we need you to do is, even though we're not going to pay you more, we would like you to travel for work. We're not going to pay you an addition. No, you travel now. And he's like, no, I'm not getting on the man lift. No, I'm not traveling. If you had mentioned that, before we started this operation, I mean, I get it. That's rug pulling is what that is. Can you just get a straight axle conversion kit for the front axle on a TRX4? Well, sort of. If you can find a new old stock SSD portal deletion kit, then yes, you will then have to figure out what you're doing in the middle. And your pumpkin, well, then you could have an unlockable front. You really open yourself up for some weirdness if that's the route you choose to go. But sort of. Conditionally. I don't think SSD is making the portal delete kits anymore. And it's not something that I would bother with because you can probably buy a front axle for less money than just getting the portal delete kit. So I have a 1200 SE Stealth X with Max OD. I have a 27.8 front and 33 rear, and the trans was 1.1. Would you change the front or rear to 38? So if you have max underdrive in a Stealth X, that would be the hot racing 25%. So you'd be at 45%. I would need to know what, when you say max, I wonder what you are inside the box. What gears are in the box? My job laid off my supervisor and treats me like a supervisor more than before, but I don't get paid an extra. Oh, max out of the box, so 12%. So you're at 30%. When presented with any option, I will remove any overdrive from the front axle. So if I was trying to settle on 22%, I would leave the 833 and take out the 827. Because I like to have the front, I don't like the front axle to be accelerated unless it's absolutely necessary. I would like to slow every axle down if possible. Yeah, K&K. That's what I meant to say. I mean, there's another use case one. I don't understand the 25% gear for a Stealth X. The 18 is great. And rarely have I ever, no, I don't know if I've ever thought. I run over 22% like 3 or 4 rigs. Now we're going to find out. How close did he get? Oh man, I just dove into this head first too. I didn't even take into account the idea that Mias rod ends might not fit inside of Vanquish stuff. We're going to find out. I'm sure I've done it before. I have to have done it before. This doesn't seem like my first time. But I do know the Mias rod ends, being clones of TRX4, are a little chunky for some things. Who did I pull from? I pulled from this pile. So when these are, will go into... Thanks for the tip on shimming the reverse cut ring gear for the Wizard C2. Hey. Now, someone has posed the question, are you interested in a motor on axle Turista? Well, that depends. Are you trying to trick me? And send me a, what is that? What's that $100 red cat? Ridge Rock, something like that? You trying to send me a Ridge Rock? Because if so, if not, then potentially interested. Yeah, what MOA axles, I guess, should have been the question. If they don't rhyme with red cat, we're good. There was practically no play on the ring gear. Replacing a shim on the gear side eliminated the binding. Yeah, that is the problem. Well, I guess we would classify it as good problem to have. I noticed this building both times I've built a wizard, which is the tolerances are so tight, particularly with the shocks. It was like 8+ battery packs to get the shocks to even start to cycle correctly. And it's a thing that we've grown unaccustomed to. It's far more normal to have things, slop around and leak. I just emailed you my. Isn't the RC 4-wheel drive bully MOA too? Yes, it is. That's the one MOA that I've actually driven. I'm waiting for the completion. I'm waiting for the completion of that sentence. I just emailed you my trail build. Can you share it on live? I think y'all get a kick out of it. Oh, man. Has it come in yet? Yes. Nice. It's going to take me a moment to jostle the photographs around. Yeah, we can just do it that way where when I click them, they just close. All right, we can all try to figure out what we're working with. I just emailed you my trail. Yeah, okay. Can we start roasting rigs sentiment on the live streams? Sure. I mean, Capra. Is that a Mias nylon straight? Are those black mambas? Is that what those are called? Like 2.6 black mambas? And we'll close the first one. Oop. I 100% approve of the heads. I'm absolutely on board. I like that it's like UFO photography. It's just blurry enough to make it really difficult to tell what's what. I'm definitely intrigued by the gold. I closed too many. I'm definitely intrigued by the gold lower links. Those look suspiciously like the links off of an Everest. Because if I go to my hollow link tub, I have links that look awfully suspiciously similar to those. Maybe there's something different. Yeah, the Mambas are. What are your operating conditions where the Mamba is the go-to? I'm genuinely curious. All brass and homemade. Nice. That's much better. That's much better. What's whose email? If you mean me, then it is crawlercanyon@gmail.com. So it is. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, well. take it to the bypass. I just wanted to make it look badass. Hey, man, I'm on board. I appreciate that as a philosophy and an approach. Depending on your conditions, it might be a sacrifice for vanity. It might not. That's a lot. I mean, they really aren't appreciably more aggressive than Kryptonite custom stickies. Still laughing about sweaty kneecaps. My kneecaps are so sweaty. Yeah, that kid's weird. There's no real other way around it. They're the one that wore long pants. You know, nothing terrible has happened to me, and I haven't worn long pants yet. I'm anticipating, you know. I still haven't gotten an email that explains jewels yet. Apparently, it comes from mobile. I Googled it to find out what they were. Because it says so-and-so did so-and-so for a mini jewel. I'm a fan of the belching. We think that kid's got a hole in their diaphragm or something. Because, like, it's not normal, right? Nobody burps that much. That kid burps a lot. Just constantly. All day. Like, no food, no drink. It's just... I mean, it is what it is. They'll never sneak up on you. Okay, what are we doing here? Absolutely just having a fantastic time where nothing fits together. All I did was not want... Like, I'm trying to space out the Link Olympics as far as I can. Maybe they're swallowing too much air when they talk. They don't even have to be talking. They'll just be sitting there watching the internet. That thing can bite me. Absolutely ridiculous. I can feel it has an attitude. I can feel it. I don't know what anyone specifically did to that. You can't, it's impossible. I learned this with the twins. You cannot build the same thing twice. You can try, but as much as we unintentionally anthropomorphize everything, they get like a personality before they're even done. These two stupid things have personalities already. I just emailed you a photo of my MOA tourist offering. Well. Oh, there's the third photo. So this guy has a couple XR10s, it looks like. Just a couple. So what do we got? Panther Leopards, Rovers, Sedonas, and Chisels. That's a tough choice. And then there's those guys. That was the one that we tried to find before, and it disappeared from my site. Hey. Just one or all four? Oh, just one or four? So it's either Cougars or Chisels? I don't know. It's impossible. Stock XR10 wheels, rare. Well, they're all the same, so they must all be stock XR10 wheels. I've never seen one in person. They definitely predate my time in the tiny toy cars that go slow. They all look identical to me. Aside from the tires, obviously. We're gonna go back and we're gonna try the other one in a minute. It can't sit there tangled up like that all day. Leopards haven't been tested yet, have they? Yeah. No. Leopards have not. Cougars. Those are definitely cougars. Yes. We'll see leopards at some point. The last time it was a set that came up on eBay, far too far away from payday. I missed them. They also were not in immaculate condition, and the people were charging immaculate condition money, so I wasn't too broken up about it. I'm just having a moment here with this. There we go. I knew we'd get there. Does anyone in the lower 48 have X locks to send to the canyon? XR10 released in 2010. I bought my first rock crawler in 2020. So I definitely missed out on that. You know, I'm that guy that would say I wanted things to be readily available off the shelf before I got into crawlers, as I proceed to build stuff from scratch all the time. And what are your thoughts? A friend told me that their water bill is out of control, so they're paying for membership at a Planet Fitness just to use the shower. Madness? I mean, it's madness in that that is an option. But the way that electricity works, well, our water bills are insane, okay? So I don't know how insane his would have to be for him to consider that. Our water bill is about $120 a month if we don't use water. Like in December, the sprinklers aren't running because all the grass is dead and it's winter in the desert. So we use very little water. Summer water bill might be $300, $350. Electricity is significantly worse, to where if you did the initial expenditure, build a second house on your property so that you can literally live in one house for the first 15 days of the month, and then go into the second house and live in that house for the remaining 15 days, because of the way they do the tier system of charging for electricity. The last 5 days of the month in electricity can cost as much as the first 25 days of the month did in electricity. So our electric bill would absolutely plummet if we just had a second house with a second electricity. Like, we need a dedicated line drop going to the workshop, and then the last 2 weeks of the month, we just live in the workshop. We'll save a bunch of money. The wife would absolutely be on board. She would not be on board at all. Not even for a second. She would be like, just pay for the electricity. I showered at the gym only when the water lines are damaged or there's construction nearby. Part of the luxury of civilization is having running water and being able to bathe in your own home. Yeah. Instant running and instant on lighting. The ability to just flip a switch and turn the lights on and off. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice, these conveniences that we pay. There are also peak hour times where the rates are higher for kilowatt hour usage. Yes, sir. They still send me the emails quarterly from Southern California Edison, where they're like, hey, if you switched over to this different rate plan, you could save $30 a year. And I'm like, guys, come on. If you want to motivate people into potentially having their thermostat shut their air conditioner off, you're gonna have to offer a little more money. Money being the ultimate incentive. We're not jumping through hoops to save $2.50 a month. Twins, sort of. Twins, sort of. I feel like I've genuinely gotten to a position where I feel like there's enough Vanquish. I've got enough VFDs. I've got enough of these rails. I still have that one to build for the Operation 11 Charlie side that is on BRD rails. I'm not building another. Well, I have to build, well, sort of. I have to build another Vanquish based. How much Vanquish it will actually contain is TBD. Bigger? Smaller. Wow, you know what? If you look at these from a distance, telling a 52 from a 56 is not easy. I had a short stint with our local utility. I need more VP rails rollers. Jimbo with another 5. Jimbo hitting with the 5. And somebody called him Jumbo. Oh, that's terrible. 56. Let's just leave the covers off, shall we? It'll be fun. I feel like this is the one that's fighting me the most. The one with a little bit of Velcro on it is ornery. Yeah, shipping from Canada it was expensive before, and nowadays it's insane. I really do love seeing all of the tires that Sorka took away from us. Sorka is like, we're in charge. None of those for you. And then they changed their rules years and years later, as if changing those rules years and years later isn't too little too late. Which, it is. Because all those tires have already been discontinued and you can't buy them anymore. They still had Sedonas in stock at HRP for the longest time, and we were all aware that they were NOS. And now they've gone out of stock, and I'm assuming they're out of stock forever. That's probably the last of them we'll see. And the guy that ran Panther died some years ago, so I'm fairly confident that's the last of those we'll see. Have you seen them anime paint jobs where the car looks like it was pulled from a comic book? I want to try that. Well, we go to Anime Expo, so yes, I've definitely seen... Oh, you don't mean anime paint jobs, you mean like cel-shaded. Yes, I've seen those as well. That's kind of what I did on Clank, a very low-budget, poor man's edition of it. But that was the inspiration, at least. Andrew Moffat with, hey, $10. I'm going to spend that on frivolously on coffee. Definitely a VP convert when it comes to the rails, especially for clearance. I get the VP 3-gear skid and some low-pro Amazon LCG trains to clear interiors for scale trucks. I just got some Sodomas from them a couple of weeks ago. Oh. They've shown as out of stock. Maybe they got more. If they got more, that'd be great. And you do mean Sedonas, not Rovers. Yes, Sedonas. I have to also assume, though, that Rovers are gone as well. And we're just getting what places still have until those places don't have them anymore. There's really not much to these, is there? There really isn't. We use 10s here because if these had gear covers on them, they would want 10s. Okay, what is this? 52 or 56? 56. We'll put the fat ones. We'll put the fat ones on the portal for no other reason. Just watched a video of someone doing the manga style on his body. He kept calling it Magna, and it was bothering me. It should. I called them when you said you got your last set on that Slim Tucked. I did. Yeah, they were... You know what? I do have the internet, don't I? Hobby. Recreation products. HRP. Search. I really hate their web design. I hate their storefront layout. Yeah, it's still out of stock for me. Yeah, when I bought my pair, when I went back and looked, they already showed out of stock. Not that I need any more. I'm genuinely considering completely redoing the Mantis. I now have the idea in me that I want to put those Sedonas on Mias nylon Capra width straights. I want to redo the Mantis in a more low profile configuration. That's not a 16, that's a 15. Of course, all my 16s and 15s are just smudged together because there's unfortunately a finite number of spaces in these bins. They had more coming, so I just selected them when they were available option. Oh, nice. Bought a set of Fuss for next to nothing like a month ago. They were supposed to be 4.1. What showed up is definitely 4.5. But for $12, I'm not mad. Oh, that Jung-Hoo Lean inside the home run. Jasper was playing left field and looked like he was in Little League going for the ball. They said Lee was running 24 miles an hour. I got to see it on a little Facebook recap video of it. It didn't, because it looked like it was just pulled from the broadcast. It didn't have his elapsed time from home to home. I'm always interested by that, because I'm pretty sure PCA had the fastest home to home on his Inside the Parker last year. For that year, I think Byron Buxton has got the fastest. I'm wanting to start on my 5-door Range Rover Classic and trying to find a good 155 scale tire. Does anyone make a Class 2 2.2 tire? Yeah. FYR right there. 2.2 C2. They make a 2.2 C2 Rupture. RC4L Drive makes several. They make a 2.2 C2 MTZ. 15 seconds. Wow, that 15 seconds around is crazy. Which means that dude was over in the corner just hanging out. PCA's was like 14 seconds flat, and Buxton is he's like 1396 or something. 15 seconds is not, I mean, not that I could do it, but is not exactly blistering. That's definitely relying on quality left fielding. Sadly for one or all of us, they still won that game. My favorite thing of recent is learning that the Dodgers are absolutely abjectly terrible whenever Shohei Ohtani is on the mound. You know, the guy with a, what's his ERA now? Like .78. He has the best starting ERA in baseball history, and the Dodgers have managed to lose 2/3 of his starts. So it couldn't happen to a nicer team. How long is the runtime on those 850 batteries? Typically, I would honestly say 35 to 40 minutes. As a general average, and that would be either on two equivalent systems, say like an 1800 kV Outrunner or a Fusion SE 1800. Get 35 to 40 minutes of, mixed use. Results are absolutely going to vary, and they're going to vary primarily by how robusto is your servo. If you have a big servo and you're using it a lot, that estimated battery life is going to go down significantly. Typically, in rock crawling applications, the servo is consuming more pixies than the motor is. Barry Bonds owns the record for the most intentional walks, and it's not even close. Mr. Scurvy, there is a John Boys video. If it's not John Boys, it's at least Secret Base, where they talk about how Barry Bonds, the number of walks he has is so incredibly high that he was intentionally walked, I think, 3 times with the bases loaded, because they were like, well, let's give up 1 run instead of potentially giving up 4. Something about how if Barry Bonds had never swung the bat, like never took the bat off of his shoulder, his on base percentage would not have gone down. He got walked that many times. Just like statistically, he would just get walked. His slugging numbers would go down, but his on base percentage. For me, it was that the way the Dodgers play when Shohei Ohtani is on the mound, if they cloned him and they had 5 Shohei Ohtanis and he pitched as well as he always does, and he started every game for the Los Angeles Dodgers, if you extrapolated the data out, they would finish the season 35-127, the worst record in baseball history. The Dodgers have a .214 winning percentage when Shohei Ohtani starts. The best starting pitcher maybe in baseball. Those uppers could be a smudge longer. I don't know if I move their position. We could do a little more separation. We could, you know what? Now's the time to find out. If you're thinking it was all roids, you can take the number of walks in second place, Pujols and McGuire and Sosa, and it still won't be Bonds. Yeah. It's like, baseball is unique in having some category statistical leaders that will never be challenged. Cal Ripken's consecutive games played. Like, no one's ever going to get close. It's rare for a player now to play 10 days in a row. Dude played like 18 years, 18 years, 16 years without ever sitting down. Nobody's ever going to get close. I got about 20 minutes out of a 300 mAh 3S in testing once on an 18 SE and an Amazon Blue case. It's not much less than when I run the same battery in my micros. Yeah, I wouldn't even come close. I can get 15 to 20 minutes at best out of, they're right here in the little bin. Down low. There we go. 3S 450 in the micro guy, If I'm lucky, I'll get 15 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes. And this is another one of those things. This is just like how much money I spent, look how much money I didn't spend. I can tell you with some degrees of confidence how much time I can get out of an 850 or a 1500 or a 2200 or something like that, because I've run hundreds, if not thousands of them. I'm never going to use as an element of statistical reference that at Proline by the Fire 2024, I ran nothing but Z2200s like this in Argenum. And his first pack that he ran got 2.5 hours with full lights on, full regalia of lights. And his second pack got about 2 hours and 15 minutes. That is statistically anomalous. I never expect to get that out of a 2200. Baseline typically runs 2200s for tire tests, and I could maybe, if situations played out just right, I could maybe squeeze 2 tire tests out of 1 battery charge. Use about 50% of the battery on the first test and 50% on the other. But luckily, I have an uninterrupted flow of pixies that come out of the wall. And then I have these little devices that convert those pixies into a slightly different pixie. I put them in those little encasement devices. And then it doesn't really concern me how long I get out of them. Trying to find mid-sized batteries to run about 1 to 1.5 hours just for reducing weight. 2S. I have Z5400s and they're huge. Will last 3 to 4 hours. Mr. CE1622, here's what you do. You take your battery, and like you say you have a 5400. I don't have anything close to a 5400 near my hands. What I do have is a 2200 3S, and on the bottom of your battery, it's going to give a little number like this. It's going to give a watt-hour number, right? Say you get 2 hours dead out of an Ovonic 2200, which is 24 watt-hours. That means you're consuming about 12 watts per hour, right? So then all you need to do is say you want to be able to run it an hour and a half, then you need at least 12 plus a half, 16, 18 watt hours, then give yourself about 10%. So you'd say you'd want about 20 watt hours. And that's exactly what I did for the Pickle, who is my trail guy, because the battery he's were running was a 5200 3S, which was way too much. So I looked at his typical battery consumption, how much of the battery he was using over our usual 4 miles that we run. I determined how many watt hours that was. I went over by about 25%, determined that I need batteries that were between 40 and 50 watt hours, and got Z4S 3300s, which are 48.84 watt hours. So I aired a little high. I rounded up a little bit, but it is a significantly smaller battery. I don't even know where his old battery is, but it's much larger and much heavier. Trap all the pixies. Hey, Mr. Hurley, as long as you're here. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have to, but I both didn't have to and I had to do the math. It was like, what are we doing? I feel like I'm taking too much weight here. Should probably go. All 4 of those should be the same length. Close enough. Oh, here's another one. Here's another one, folks. Here is something that I will actively confess to not doing, but you should do. If your vehicle is fitted with any kind of power plant that has adjustable parameters, Mr. Hurley with a 5, any kind of adjustable parameters, but obviously what we're speaking about specifically are Outrunners and Fusions, because most things are Outrunners or Fusions. Okay, here's what I need you to do. Let's say you're working with a Fusion. Go out to your little spot, go out into your yard, go out to where you have an incline, right? Something around 100%, aka 45 degrees. Get out there on that thing and go roop and stop. Okay? Does it hold? If you go up and put a little bit of pressure on the nose and push it, does it slide or do the wheels turn? Most likely it's going to slide. What this means is that you most likely have more drag brake than you actually need. So you're going to plug in your program card, you're going to knock down your drag brake, say, because the default on Hobbywing is what, 6? 5 or 6 of 9? Knock it down a point or 2 points. Then do the same thing. Go up the thing, push on it. Do they start to turn? Does it start to roll? Because drag brake is consuming probably the most amount of power that the motor is going to use at any given time. You're never going to wind that motor up to high RPMs. Well, let's not say never, but pretty much never. The servo, because drag brake, think of your drag brake as just your servo, but bigger. The servo is constantly trying to hold the tires, even if you're giving no steering input and they're just perfectly parallel pointing forward. The servo is doing that. It's holding them there, and it's using its own share of pixies to do it. So drag brake engages whenever you are off the throttle. If you have released the trigger, drag brake is active. Higher drag brake input is going to consume more power than lower drag brake input. And I've honestly only done it with a handful of rigs in here. And what I should do is more. I should just pick 1 or 2, say every other day, knock out, 4 or 5 rigs a week. Because it's just, we're giving it away now. It's just power going to nothing. By the time we're done with this, and I've gone elsewhere. Yeah, this is a situation where, much like as was mentioned earlier, the head of this screw is going to be very close to the front drive shaft. What is that tool that you use to match upper and lower links? I have one similar to the one you have on your desk there, and it's not long enough for the links I need to match. Poobah. This is an RPM shock comparator. Much like most things from RPM, it is discontinued. If you have never been to the Crawler Canyon Discord, if you amble on over there and go into the 3D print section, it's at the very bottom. It's called the 3D Printery. You can request the file either for yourself to print if you print things, or for someone to print if you don't print things. And you can get the file for this comparator tool, which the man from Oklahoma designed. And this will take you all the way out to 235 millimeter links. I printed this my very self, and I'm not good at 3D printing things. And I printed this. The problem with most shock comparators, including all of the aluminum ones that you can find on Amazon or AliExpress, they're too expensive, and they typically only go out to about 150, 160 millimeters long. This one is kind of surprising in that it goes out to 150, 160 millimeters long, whereas this one goes out to 235. It's pretty nice. You throw a little bit of hardware on it, there's really nothing to it. It works great. I put a little FX wash, to make it so that the numbers are easier to read. I'm sure someone out there smarter has probably printed one in 2 colors of filament, but I ain't about that life. Why don't spiders go to school? Because they learn everything they need to know on the web. Have you tested any of those GoTech motors or servos yet? I have tested, not officially, but yes. I have tested the 60 kg GoTech. I can, in a sort of informal quick view fashion, I can state that they are definitely worthy of a purchase. They're pretty quick. They're pretty quiet. They don't feel performance-wise identical to any other direct power 60 kg, so I don't think that they're just a relabeling. They're a little bit of their own thing. The guy across the street's got like a compressor running or something. My tinnitus doesn't like it. Oh, it stopped. Oh, the spider joke doesn't even get a giggle. I left a moment of silence. I heard their wires don't connect to normal receivers. All right. I'm going to answer Mr. Hurley's question in an overly long-winded, overly complicated fashion. He asks, are they pretty strong? And here's the thing. A servo is either strong enough or it isn't. So what we do, because they are affordable, is we tend to buy more than we need. Any servo stamped 60 kg, I've never met a servo stamped 60 kg on it, or embossed, or screen printed, or however they put it, that wouldn't do the job, that wouldn't move a tire. When you get up to big dogs, if you're trying to push Rovers and Sedonas and Chisels and Leopards and all of those, it's going to need more force, just because that tire is going to grab the ground with such force that the servo is going to be like, hey, what are you asking me to do here? Servo on axle, servo behind axle are going to reduce, view it in whichever way you like. They're either going to reduce the amount of torque that is required, or they are going to raise the effective level of torque that the servo generates, because the servo is fighting no geometry. All it is doing is moving tires. So a 35 kg servo, 500 ounces, on the axle, mounted to something like this, is going to be plenty. Particularly if we're talking about even up to a 525 tire. Once you get into bigger tires, yes, you're probably going to need a servo that's a little bit more robust, at the significant and real risk that that servo will be strong enough to tear all of the things that you love apart. And they will. A 60 kg servo that is genuinely outputting 60 kilograms, some 750 ounces of torque. Any servo that is genuinely doing that, if your drag link looks like this, it will just bend it over. Yes, 594. There's only one tire off the top of my head that's a 594. That is a 2.2, what I call the full-size rupture. You got to ask yourself a question. Do I want to become the unstoppable force? Acknowledging that if that 594 rupture is in a place that it likes, it will not move. The unstoppable force will meet the immovable object, and something in between, something that exists between the output of that servo and the bottom of that tire, something in the middle is going to break. That's how it's going to be. Because what you will do very quickly, with high-powered servos, particularly if we're getting into stupid stuff like AGFRC, A75, the 1200 ounce NSDRC RS800s, the Reefs 1100 or the 900s. Honestly, it doesn't matter what the numbers are on the bench. It doesn't matter. Will they break your stuff? Yes. So, entering a Class 2-3 Common Kent tomorrow, so only popping in while getting the rigs and spares ready. Hey, good luck, man. I hope that it is a mellow day out there, and I hope that you are greeted with only the most like-minded individuals who are just there to have a good time and not turn it in and not all of a sudden think that, you put a controller in the guy's hand and all of a sudden everybody thinks that they're competing for the world championship. And then what they do is they ruin it for everyone else. I'm not saying that I've experienced these people in my own life, but I've experienced these people in my own life. Did I miss Sawtooth Turner to go by? Yeah. Mr. Turner with the 20, helping keep the Sawtooth alive. When I started crawling, I remember thinking 125 ounces was plenty. Yeah. I remember hard landing on my SCX CJ and it just noodled the silly thin servo link. Yeah. On a blue case 35, don't turn your ESC to 8 when all the magic smoke leaves. Oh, it depends. Well, that's the thing. There's so many different blue cases now. I can confirm that is exactly... Oh, these aren't going to work. These are too big. Okay. Luckily, we have a tool for this. As I said, I was very... So, will they fit here? Yes. Will they fit here? Yeah, well... Okay, so there's only one... No, we can do it. There's only one spot where the Mias ends really fight. And that's this side. Driver's side up against the pumpkin. You really gotta shove that thing in. You gotta shove it in there, man. Luckily, the guys I comp with are bloody nice people. Oh, I could dream. What a dream to have. You know what? Despite the fact that we can orient this and it will stay in those orientations because it's pretty tight. Self-clearancing, baby. Self-clearancing. That won't be a problem. Drive it a couple times. Drive it a couple times, and that'll all just come together. Also, the ends are a little on the fat side. Don't know if I mentioned that. They're kind of hitting right. They're hitting right out of frame. They're hitting right there. What are you going to do? I was just looking at the specs of an older high-tech servo, and they are sub 200. I was thinking, how do we get away with this? I remember. So on my bespoke, custom-built two-wheel drive short course truck, my servo is an Airtronics 94780, which is still from the analog days, I'm pretty sure. And that servo was rated at something like 400 ounces at 6 volts. And in its heyday, that servo was, I want to say, at or around $200. $200 for 400 ounces nowadays sounds ridiculous. We are talking about a time when 100-ounce servos were fairly common. Now, Amazon will get you 500 ounces for $25. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm going to clearance this. Traxxas and Mias alike have these little hex shapes on the rod ends. And the little hex shape is hitting the chassis. fairly seriously. We're using Mias rod ends because I have a lot of them. And I dug through the bin in an effort to find at least 2 sets of 16 of some other rod end that had the same spacing from thread to hole. I don't have them. So what I just had to do was right on that hex, right, and as you can see, I had to shave the hex part off, so that because the axle wouldn't actually sit down. I could probably get away with a little bit of the same. It's crazy, is it not? That look at the amount of space there. We can basically fit a 2.5 millimeter there, but then look at on this side. It's like touching the axle. Now, it was obviously designed for different rod ends, so that's not their fault. Before I put, the upper looks like it's going to be worse. They might not fit into the, no, not even close. Do I have a loose one? That one fits, though. Maybe it will. When is Tank supposed to land in his new home? Shipped out Tuesday. So I don't know. I could go into my ship tracker. He might, if he hasn't arrived yet. Now I'm curious. I'm just over here doing nothing. That's this is standard operating procedure around here. Got to open PayPal shipping. We have to hope that PayPal shipping will open for us. Hey, it opened. And we go to labels. And we go to this one. And then we copy it. And we go to here and we paste it. Because they won't let you track from within ShipStation. That's one of the updates. Status not available at the moment. That's comforting. Delivered, left with individual. Today. 33 minutes ago. There you go. So it's already there. Left with individual. Oh, you said ship tracker was a little out of hearing range. Yeah. You have to log in to get updates. Yeah, it wouldn't do that. That's actually probably their design, where they're like, we don't just want people typing in the number. You know what? That's not terrible. That's kind of a fair, decent split, but it could have, let's just do this. We'll go 1, 2. Only the most scientific. We'll go half. That's a 1 and a half and a 2. Look, I'm trying to put myself into as much of an RTR building mindset as possible, which is cut corners, over torque, don't pay as much attention as you should be, get distracted by chat, offer a job interview earlier, hopefully I've done it. Yeah. Did you ever get around to testing that motor I sent in? What Mr. Hurley is forgetting is that he had a build. It came from the Workbench 48. He had a build underway here for over a year. Now that Outrunner has been here for week and a half. And he's already asked me twice if I've tested it yet. And he has some idea of how it works around here, which is first it lands in the building, then eventually it will land on the whiteboard. I don't have any shocks for these things, by the way. That's on my to-do list. You have asked twice. This counts as once, and you asked me on the Discord as well. So that's 2 times. I forget a lot of things, but some things I remember. And I'm prepping out for recording well in advance, okay? Tomorrow, I don't like that screw at all. Tomorrow, I will record the video I'll record 2. One is getting bumped because I need to get Rock Tech Part 2 up. So whatever video is up, the poor review of the G8 Pro X has already gotten bumped twice. I don't want to bump it again. I might end up moving a video to Friday. Anyway, the other video that's being recorded on the 16th will be the video for either 24th, 25th, 26th. It's a good problem to have. Have a surplus. Oh, has Miata Commuter been here today? Punked Ghost is Monday, I think. I think is Monday. Yeah, Monday. No, not purple, just boring. Looks good. HKHobbies.com. 540-1850. And they even managed to put rock crawler on the side. Although this is not a rock crawler, this is a motor. I know what a rock crawler is. I've seen one. Rock Tech 2, you mean the Rant podcast? I want to get as many of them as angry as conceivably possible. Because I already know that there are people that will actively defend it. And I know that the people who are willing to actively defend it have either never used it, which is one group for sure, don't know what they're talking about. That's definitely. Whose live stream was it that said that the TRX4 was going to go brushless? I mean, I think saying that, I don't think I said it. I didn't say it, did I? That would be a fairly safe bet, seeing as Traxxas basically discontinues all of their rigs annually, and then the next year, the same thing with some small difference pops up again. My question is still remaining. When the brushless TRX4 finally emerges, what is it going to be? Like, what will be the motivation of... There's already a review of someone who doesn't own it or a crawler, so yeah, that's a fantastic one. Benjamin with the 20! The sawtooth... Sawtooth swells up. It swells up. Dropping the big 20. Oh, yes. Miata Commuter will appreciate this because the box that they sent, I don't know if it showed up a day early or 5 days late. I don't know what day it was supposed to be here, but it showed up yesterday. And this... This is good stuff. Okay. Here's the side of the box. You ready? Oh, yeah. Got the peekaboo. And part of this punched through as well. They did their work, man. Oh, it was supposed to be there yesterday? Those look like C-hubs. I think those are the C-hubs. Jutting out through the bottom of the box. This is well done. This is well done, United States Postal Service. You can't give them an inch, you know? Looks like AliExpress mail. Yeah, those Chinese drop shippers, they will use that full frangible cardboard. It occurred to me just now that it would probably be a lot easier if I put the front links on and then put the gearbox in. See hubs, literally. Yeah, I can see the hubs now. I mean, tiny toy cars that go slow should be the ones that can handle this abuse, right? Unless they do what they did with the XL5 and make it a 3S ESC to go with it, but I'm not holding my breath. See, my greatest... Oh, so this was like Smart Post. Well, that explains it. If it was Smart Post, that explains it 100%. The United Parcel Service will beat a package like it owes them money. United Parcel Service charged me an additional $20 after I'd shipped the box to South Africa and said, oh, actually the package size was different. You lying sons of bitches, it absolutely was not. Uline box. Anyway. Then a tourista got sent here from the Great White North, from Canada, and I got billed for import duty. UPS sent me a bill for $11. So UPS, they love it. They love charging me the things that I already have. I'm not saying that I'm going to try to avoid shipping things using the United Parcel Service, but I don't like paying extra money after the fact. So the biggest worry about Traxxas going brushless is that they will do what every other manufacturer has been doing as of late, which is cheese it, right? They'll put like a lower KV version of the BL2S in it. So it'll be terrible. If they do the Traxxas version of it, my anticipation would be a lower KV. Well, they do have Outrunners over there. But I would imagine something more along the lines of a Valenion system, but lower KV. They have to know that those motors need to be censored, right? We can somewhat safely assume that they have to know this. I don't know. For me, where I'm standing as a guy building two RTRs, I'm doing my own best impression of Taiwan right now, where I'm building RTRs for you. I'm not motivated on any real level by RTRs. I mean, because the new RTR has a brushless motor instead of a brushed one, it doesn't really mean anything to me. Because I wasn't going to use the brushless setup because we don't... Okay, I'll use the we. I'll put us all in here together. I don't think any of us have any realistic expectation that any manufacturer out there is going to try to shift the paradigm and give us really good stock electronics. Because what they want us to do is go out and buy more electronics. I'm not saying that there's any sort of industry collusion, but what I'm saying is the number of vehicles inside this building that are on stock electronics can be counted on 0 fingers. Because, as again, I'll include you all, I'm sure you're all aware, it's not as if a Hobbywing 1080 is grotesquely expensive. Hobbywing will make an RTR before any OEM will make a good RTR system. Yeah. Would Traxxas take over the market as far as RTRs if they went with D2 Fusion, similar to what was in the Ascent Fusion? They never will, though. Did I mount this right side? I did! I feel like Traxxas has a I don't know, maybe it's not even lurking. Maybe it's an open animosity towards Hobbywing. Kind of like how Horizon actively operates as if the TRX4 doesn't exist. The cost of Traxxas upgrade parts is absolutely nuts. No one should buy any stuff from Traxxas. Don't buy their servos, don't buy their chargers, don't buy their batteries, don't buy any of their aftermarket kit. Realistically, from Traxxas right now, there's a couple models in the tiny toy cars that go slow. There's a couple models worthy of consideration, but for the most part, no. When you see that poor soul that, you know, it's not his fault. He didn't know any better. And he got sewed the whole ball of wax and has the Traxxas charger and the Traxxas batteries and got the red case upgraded Traxxas servo. It's not his fault. They didn't know. What if Traxxas surprises us, though, and gives us something decent? They've done it before. Traxxas upgrades aren't really upgrades. They're shiny bits for idiots. Look, none of us are immune. All right? None of us are immune. Gate Rover has within him the Traxxas light kit for Defender. I didn't know any better. I bought them. You know what? It's a perfectly fine lighting system. Is it economical? No. Would I recommend it over other lighting systems? Also no. But, you know, that's the thing about Traxxas. You're going to pay more money than you should. But at least what you get is going to be okay. Like, I've tested that red case upgrade servo to the 2075X. It's absolutely fine. It costs 3 times what it should, but it's absolutely fine. Meanwhile, on the other side of the aisle, you've got Horizon and got their Spectrum stuff. Yeah, as Mr. Chewit says, the lighting system fits his TRX6 perfectly. It does. Their system is well thought out. It's just more money than you should spend. It's like I bought that Traxxas stainless steel fastener kit for TRX4 when I was building the wife's G-Wagon, and I would do it again. You spend like $40 on that thing of screws, and it's just like not having to go through Link Olympics. I never had to pull one of these out and dig through it. That thing is legit. Every single screw on that vehicle had a stainless steel counterpart, including the pins for the drive shafts, including those tiny little button heads that hold the portal input bearings in, including the lock nuts. Every single fastener, stainless steel. And I had to hunt for nothing. So it was absolutely worth it. Would I do it every time? No. But if I had to build the wife another vehicle, sure. Send one over. Also, I don't know if this is the perfect time, but this is definitely a time. These are both 27s. You ever gone on the internet? I've been on the internet. You ever seen where they go on the internet and they take a balloon and a piece of PVC pipe? I must have discovered this far later than everyone else. But if you have a balloon and a piece of PVC pipe, I like the Traxxas winch, works fine, but twice the price. Yeah. I've noticed they use the smallest possible wires for the light kits and fun to try and resolder. Yeah, they use it's got to be like 30 gauge. I was just at Hobbytown and a guy was walking out with all the Traxxas hop-up parts for his TRX4. I felt so bad for him, they fleeced him hard. My Hobbytown story is the one that I've told before, where the kid went in there and his RTR system had given up the ghost or whatever, and they talked him into buying a Castle slate and a Sidewinder, but not in the bundle, separately. Motor in one box, ESC in the other box. Had to be close to $300 he spent. And this is during the time when the Fusion exists. So what you can do, should you feel so inclined, is you need a piece of tape, a piece of PVC pipe. I use 3/4 and a balloon. And what you do is you cut a piece. Have you been on the internet? If you've been on the internet, you cut a piece of it off and you shove it in the neck of your balloon, and then you put the balloon over it, and then you put tape around it, and then when you blow into it like this, but the best part is you give it the last little squeeze. I don't know. My children don't find it nearly as amusing as I do. But as I literally watched 20 seconds of a video on the internet, and I saw that for the first time, and I went, well, here we go. And I'm not saying that I've bought more balloons, but I have bought more balloons. I mean, it gets very didgeridoo-y at the end. What's not to like? Yeah, I'm halfway to my tugboat. One day, I will get just hopped up enough on caffeine, and I'm gonna buy that tugboat. There's aside from the big lake, there's no water out there right now. That's a little long. Yeah, that's good enough for now. You know what it is? It's good enough for now. I gotta remind myself, RTR mindset. It's like an oboe and a didgeridoo. Did you see the video of the guy that put those squeaking chickens around a car tire? Yes. I stepped away to use the restroom and came back to the balloon on the pipe thing. I love it. It's like, this is what the internet is best used for. That dude in New York that goes to those struggling restaurants, that kid in Japan that goes to those little hole-in-the-wall Japanese restaurants, people that make things that don't harm anybody, they're still good to be found on the internet. Didn't I say I was going to put the big links on the portal? I didn't do that. I put the big links on the straight axle. Not that it matters a whit, for it does not. I'm probably going to... Yes, I am. Yeah. I realize why that clearance is so tight. And it's because I'm attempting to... Well, let me grab a link and see if it goes. Will this clear? If this clears, then I ain't concerned. Guess what? I ain't concerned. I think I'm typically running in the upper in the upper hole. So in the middle hole, we have a little less clearance from the drive shaft. It'll be, you know what? It'll be fine. I have 3 of those. Nice! There's a video on YouTube. A guy bought a Slash charger batteries for over $650 and he still had a smile. That's my other Hobbytown story, where the guy walked in and bought an X-Max, a set of tires, the charger 2 battery combo that Traxxas does, and he walked out the door for just a hair under $2,000. It was like 1950. And I was like, that's the deal. That was a learning moment for me. That was a teaching moment. I got taught a thing right then, which is value and expense have very different definitions to different people. That happened long before Traxxas came out with the Funko. And when the Funko got announced and people were like, $1,500, I was like, you don't understand. The Funko is Taylor Swift's music. It's not for you. If you look at that price tag and you go, oh, that's too much, then it's not for you, right? That's for the dude that goes to Glamis with his $25,000 sand rail. And the cost of that little one is nothing. He spent that on a tire, right? To us, we're like, what are you doing? That's crazy. Someone should be stopped. It's not for us. It's not for us. I don't have a single place that I could drive that Traxxas sand rail. They do also have like a limited edition, like anniversary Bigfoot thing that's like $2,000. But then they sell a bunch of those Snap-on collab trucks, and then people resell those things for thousands of dollars. I only learned yesterday, and I don't even know what it is, but they like open it up and it's got like a steamed bun, but it's like a squishy, and they're looking for a specific this is what we're doing now. So we're over the Labubus now. And then apparently there was a thing called Nido, and I never even saw that. I don't know what a Nido is. But I guess now it's like a bun, and like you open it up, it's like a blind box, and you open it up and you want the glittery one or something. I watched some compilation video of people crashing out over not getting the gummy bun that they wanted. I don't know. You know, I'm over here being what I thought was rational when I'm like, you will never see a return on an investment if you spend $1,000 on a Reefs XP10. If it's the thing that you want and it doesn't keep food out of your mouth, go ahead. But then you get the people that they have to proselytize. They can't just be happy with what they have. They need someone else to have the same thing that they can have, either so that they can better justify it to themselves, so that they can share the misery, for any number of possibilities. I would love to think that I was different, right? We would all love to think that we're all snowflakes, right? We would love to think that we're all different. And I make a lot of unconditional statements, which I only mean halfway. I'll say something like, everyone should try four-wheel steer. I think you should. I don't outright think that you should go out and buy a four-wheel steer rig or even build one. But if you see somebody with one, be like, hey, can I try that for a second? I think everybody should drive a 6x6. I'm not saying that you should own one or build one or buy one if you'd like to. That's great. But like, I'm not going to be like, this is the best thing that's ever been. And if you don't have one, you're a jackass. And if your opinion is different than mine, you're a double jackass. You know, aren't we just here to have a good time, man? Like, why can't we all just have a good time, man? I'm up to 3 people in 2 days asking me if we carry them. Oh, Lord. I feel I couldn't survive a day in retail. Not one day. A Nido is like today's version of the fidget spinner. When I got my first full-time job and was still living with my parents, I got the fancy race version Losi 8 kit on a whim for $900. Not sure what I was thinking. You know what? I approve of that. Blind boxes and loot boxes in games just teach kids to like gambling? Yes. I bought my daughter a 4-pack of the Squishy Buns. She was happy with what she got, and she's not getting any more. Nice. I didn't even know that was a thing. She saw one at golf and stuff, so I told her to save her tickets, and I just buy her one from Amazon. Yeah. Just received a phone call offering a position at the new local hobby shop. Hey, get on the inside for us. I hate those mystery pack things. You never get the one you want. I got one mystery things for Dungeon Crawler Carl, and that's about it. Like, that's what these are. These are from the blind boxes, those 4 across the top. And I bought, this was the first one that I ever got. Anime Expo 2023, maybe. I got that one. And the way I do it is I look at the side of the box. And if I look at the side of the box and I say there's no losers on there, I'll get one of those. And then my wife really there's a pink one. She really wanted the pink one. So we bought 2 at one of the other anime cons that we were at. It might have been Long Beach. And one of them was that tan guy on the end. And one of them was the pink one. So she got the pink one and I got to put the tan one over there. The only time I took a chance on an actual blind box was at the Miniso. Is that the name of it? Miniso. This guy right here. This Luffy. Because they were all One Piece characters, and this was the only Luffy character in the boxes. And I shook them, and this one jiggled less. And I was like, I bet it's Luffy with his arms out. And when I opened it, and it was Luffy with his arms out. But ordinarily, I agree with the same thing. I can't say that I've done it 100%. But I have indeed blind boxed myself. You get lost in the moment. Oh no, I've blind boxed more than that. There's this place that makes plushies, and I've only ever seen them at Anime Expo Los Angeles, and they're called, I can't even remember. The first year, they were given a giveaway, and it was this tiny little hedgehog plush. And if you spent X amount of money, they would give you the free hedgehog. The wife had seen the hedgehog and was like, oh my God, I wish I could get one of those. And then they were walking off. I said, I'm going to go look for stuff. And I went back to the booth. The name is floating. It's in my head. It's just floating. It's just too far. Bellzy. Bellzy. Bellzi. I've never seen them anywhere else. If they exist outside in the real world, I've never seen them. I've only seen them in Anime Expo. So I went back and I went to the lady and I said, do you have any of the little guys left? And she was like, no, I think, and I'd already bought the like package. And I go, do you have any of the little ones left? And she goes, no, I don't think we do. And she goes, but I think in the back, they might be able to find something like it. And I said to her, you're doing the Lord's work, right? That's the thing you say, right? You're doing the Lord's work. So she was, no offense, she was one of those religious people, right? They stuffed my mystery bag full. There was keychains, lanyards. I got 2 different sizes of the hedgehog. I made out because I said to that lady, "You're doing the Lord's work." And I told my wife that story, and she was like, "You're terrible." And I was like, "What?" She wasn't wearing like 5 cross necklaces. I didn't know she was going to go full loaves and fishes on me when I said you're doing the Lord's work. I was just being nice. That's a thing that you say. So, I'm not saying that I regret it, is what I'm saying. If I gamed the system in some way, I didn't game it intentionally. I gamed it incidentally. I don't apologize for that. Remember the Beanie Baby craze? I know it's not the same as loot boxes, but people were still insane about it. Yeah. Isn't Trucks of Fortune from Vanquish a blind box? Yes. That's why we bought exactly one. And the difference here, and I will make this difference realizing that it is a hypocritical difference. This blind box was like $14.99 and a Trucks of Fortune's like $700. I will risk $14.99 because any of the other characters, I would have given it to my wife, she would have put it on her desk at work, and we would have been good. But I happened to accidentally get the one that I wanted. Yeah, God bless. I often type out GOBBLESS. God bless. You say it as one word. Oh, God bless, man. God bless America. You know, I was in the right place at the right time. Shout out to the unknown ladies of the Belzy booth, Anime Expo 2024. Might have been 2023. That absolutely hooked me up. I look forward to it. The only way I can survive Anime Expo is to turn it into a theme park in my mind. Because my brain operates in different spheres, right? I am in my normal mode, which is, would you like to add guacamole or would you like to add something on? Hell no. If you grew up poor, you stay poor in your mind your whole life. You clean your plate no matter how fat you get, right? When you leave a room, you turn the lights off, right? You can't break out of this programming. So what you have to do is you have to incept yourself. When I go to Disneyland, I will eat a $13 turkey leg and I won't even think twice about it because it's delicious. And I already acknowledge that that day I will spend $1,000. So scroll up and answer Poobah. What did he say? How far? Oh, second question. When you made the culture into a clipless body mount, did you just get the fenders and the body parts, the derp stuff? Yes, sir. Yes, I absolutely did. You can buy either of the bodies, full cab or half cab, and you just need to buy the fenders. The fenders come with the pins. You buy the fenders, the pins. Oh, and the parts that go on the body, which I think is in one bag. You need it's 3 bags of stuff that you have to buy because that's how I did the wife's. Because I already had a VS410 chassis. So yes, it's the inner fenders, which I'm pretty sure come with the pins, and then you also need the. What part of that would it be? Is that the female part? You need the parts that mount to the body. Yeah. So yes, but yes, you can absolutely do that. Also, I'll tell you, there's 125 people here. Hey. 125 people. Zoku has made adapters to put the derp system on a Zoku chassis. And I'm like, are you selling this? And he goes, no. This guy. So, he is right in one aspect. How many people are going to do it? How many people are going to derp a carbon rail, are going to put a full cab on carbon rails? I don't know, somebody. So I would do it. I would do a lot of dumb things. I do. What am I saying? Would I do? You guys turn the lights off when you leave a room. I've turned the lights off at night once. I get comfortable anywhere in the house because all I'm doing is watching TV or doom scrolling. Grow up poor, still poor, always poor. I have an old half cab and I don't want to buy a bunch of stuff I didn't need. Yeah. You just need the fenders with the pins, the adapter pieces, because they have the tubey the tubey bits that the derp pins go through, and then the rest of it just drops on. That was the discovery. That was our grand discovery, that they lied to us, bald-faced, about why the Classic didn't come with an interior. Oh, because it had to be new. No, it ain't. It just doesn't have the body mount holes in it. It's the only difference. It's the exact interior, same interior that it was before. It doesn't have body mount holes in it. It's the only difference. And those body mount holes get covered with a sticker. $47. However much they charge for the interior, it's a crime. Absolute crime. Oh, that wasn't working because I was making it not work. I keep getting this lined up perfectly, and then I have to set it down to obtain my bits and pieces. I remember the derp face when someone says derp, and that's what I think. Yeah. Use concave washers and countersunk bolts for the front body holes. That's what I did. Silver and stainless, as a matter of fact. It looks good. They also, you can still find them. Somebody does is it CC Hand? It might be CC Hand. It might be RC Four-Wheel Drive. They do a cowl that goes on the front that seals off the body post holes in the front. Maybe not an option for everybody, but an option for somebody. I didn't opt for it because it's black. And it would be going on the wife's powder blue half cab. So I just went with the countersunk washers instead. We've got to do the trim again here. Have I built almost two? I've almost built 2 stances. Okay, so on the order list, 2 sets of 90mm 2 mods. Somebody's running a compressor just far enough out of range that it's infuriating my brain. I can just hear it humming. Not coming through the... Oh, I forgot to feed the air hogs. Guys, don't let me forget. When I'm turning everything off, I need to... It's amazing. Just that little bit off of there. I need to refill the bird feeder. I could have made those uppers just a hair longer. RTR, baby! We don't care about nothing around here. We only build RTRs here. Hey, Miata Commuter with a 5! That was a confusing for me, the Origin interior. Cheap bastards. The way they've done it now, I've seen something similar called Blurp. Body latch engagement retrofit plate. That's not bad. Where was I going? I said Miata Commuter with a 5. Yep. It's gone now. It's gone. Oh! Vanquish has gone the Axial route, where Axial discontinued all of the parts for the LCXU dig unit and then re-released them, but in multiple bags. So they're in separate bags now. This is objectively dumb. Because if you want to add a dig unit, you can't add a dig. Hey, Sam, let's Zimba with the 5. Zimba with the 5. Man, you guys are keeping it alive today. Zimba with the 5. You can't put the dig unit on without the parts from both bags. So now what's going to happen is the same thing that happens with everything Axial. One of the bags is going to go out of stock. The other one will be in stock. So you can order half of your dig unit and then wait until late July for the other half? Why can't we just keep them in one bag? So Vanquish did the same thing where it's actually not more money. I feel like everybody who bought a classic got boned to a certain degree. Because for $400, it should have come with an interior. I think we all agree. But what they did is they sell the full cab or the half cab, the non-derp version. They sell that for about $110. So now they sell the body by itself for $75 and the interior for $45. So it's $10 more, and you have to buy them separately. I don't view it from the aspect of, oh, well, you're saving money. If you don't want the interior, then you spend less money. $75 is too much for just the body. What I'm trying to say is I don't like it. Oh, Mr. Hurley, shooting a sniper shot. Oh, he's trying to hit Eddie. The new Enjora IR60 is 93? I've seen it for 93. And some people are beefing. Some people are like, oh, that's too expensive. Have they shopped for bodies recently? Like, particularly hard bodies. And then they'll be like, oh, well, I bought some no-name nonsense. No. Have you shopped for hard bodies? The people who own the vehicle parts complain to the company that they have to buy the whole unit when they need replacement parts. But, like, if that's about the dig thing, you're never going to need replacement parts for the dig unit. And if you are, you would be better off just throwing everything away and replacing all the parts. I could understand, maybe to a slightly larger degree, selling the interior and the body separately. But if you're going to do that, like, incentivize it. Yeah, it's a hard body with a cage and interior. A hundo for a pre-painted hard body is a good deal. Let me go to a place. I only need to do one thing. I should be able to find it right away. And then we go to these guys right here. There we go. That'll do. Drag this over here. Okay. People who are like, oh man, IR60, too expensive at 93, 95, 98. Like, that is a 257 millimeter wheelbase drift car body, which would easily fit in a shoebox. It's made out of Lexan. It's $120, right? Do you feel like you're getting more if you're, wait, hold on, right? Maybe it's not a good enough example, right? Oh, I clicked back. It must be 18 after the hour. Let's go into something that's in our more in our own world, right? Let's search for something more relevant. Rock crawler bodies sort by highest price, and of course, the highest price. Now that one's a little more detailed. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's on back order. Not that that matters. There you go. Is it that expensive? Is it? Delta Plastic Lexan over 100? Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. It all comes back. It's Taylor Swift's music again. If you look at it and your first instinct, your first thought is, that's too expensive, don't buy it. There it is. I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to get one. Just to see. My no prep body from Shark is $70, Lexan. Yes, the IR60 does have bobblehead driver and passenger. My buddy dropped $130 for a body and chassis for an SCX24. Good God. These people are out there. They walk among us. That didn't even get to all the Traxxas bodies, which are not hard bodies, nor are they fitted with an interior of any kind. And there we go. There's a good screen pause right there. There's that one guy that lurks in there. We've got that one. We got a K10 Scottsdale sneaking in there at 188 if you want it in blue or red. But you've got all the Ford Bronchies, and you've got the classic, what is it, 79 Bronco Blazer for 185. It's mental. And I know that they're winning a little bit. They've gotten us to, they've boiled us so slowly that we're not realizing that we're being boiled. It's all too expensive. It's all too expensive. Oh, and then of course, if you buy that Bronchi from Traxxas, they'll gladly sell you a light kit for it too. They're all too expensive. Crazy. Traxxas want more than hard body money for Lexan. Here. That's why we have so few hard bodies here. They are just grotesquely expensive. And whether they're Lexan or hard bodies, they're all overpriced. And they charge that price because they can. Why do you think the affordable options like Sand Scorchers are going out of stock all the time? And the Sand Scorcher's been around forever. That didn't look like a 12 to me, because it's not. You sneaky. You trying to blow a hole out the bottom of my brand new skid? Well, you better don't. Dang well better don't. My Element, Nightwalker, and Night Runner are like 80 each for Lexan, so 90 for a hard body is reasonable. Yeah. Speaking of a Traxxas light kit, I'm about to pull the light kit out of my TRX-6 G-Wagon to send to the canyon. Hey, that'll go directly into the wife's vehicle with the extra lights mounted somewhere. And it's good we'll get it to her when we do, because otherwise she's going to... Something's not right. Something doesn't seem right. No, okay, that's fine. Is this optical contusion? Why does that look so close? Why does the portal look so close? Okay, let's pretend ride height. That's like 8 millimeters. Straight axle. Definitely more. That's like 13 millimeters. Is it just the angle? It's not that far off. RTR, man. Yeah, to me, a management scratching their heads. Why are all the Sand Scorchers all at once? Why are people buying these? We haven't even sold this many Sand Scorchers. It's a shame FMS doesn't sell its hard bodies individually, only in parts, and then it gets expensive like RC 4-wheel drive. Boy, did I ever learn that. When I went to do when the wife wanted an FJ, when she made the suggestion, well, maybe I need one of those, I priced up ordering from FMS, and it was about $125 cheaper, knowing that the RTR FJ is $350. It was about $125 cheaper to order just the body parts from FMS and assemble them myself versus just buying a full RTR and taking it apart. Should I have just bought the, yeah. The answer is yes. I should have just bought the parts and built it. How do I talk myself into thinking it's not? Like a frog boiling in water. I was just talking about this. Who was it? Was it the wife? I said, every one of us, we have a thing that we would call, or what I would call, I don't know what you call it. I call it no-brainer money, where I see something. I see some interesting product on the internet, and I think, man, I'd give that a try. And then I look at the price of it. And the no-brainer threshold is, how much does that thing cost where you'll just buy it, right? And for the longest time, when prices seemed normal and the world seemed less insane, it was like $20. If something costs $20, I'll give it a shot. If the thing turns out to be arse, you've spent $20, right? If it turns out to be great, you're like, oh, it can't be $20 anymore. It can't. Because a tank of gas in California costs $80, right? And what do you get to show for that? Nothing. You get to be stuck in a car. So now I am more of the mind of, fine. I'll spend that, big deal. Now it's getting closer to like $50. I think is closer where I am, 40 or 50. Because I'm going to nickel and dime myself into misery. That's where it's going to end up. And what I want to do is build toy cars and tinker with toy cars and give those toy cars away to people so that they can have them too. And don't ever think that it's a selfless act, y'all. I want to give you these things so that you will spend more of your money on tiny toy cars. That's why over the coming months, we're going to give away 2 stances. We're going to give away a portal stance, and we're going to give away a straight axle stance. And we're going to do this because by giving them away, do I have 2 40s? I got a 60, a 45, a 55. Okay, add it to the list. I got a 70. I don't have, we have to, like, there's no option. It has to be identical servos. I will accept nothing else. All right. So we could go full RTR, and I can put Traxxas 2075s on them, or I can just order 2 servos off of Amazon. Oh, RC Family's going to bed. He does have that comp tomorrow. 91 is like 550 a share in Phoenix. Don't look now, but there might be a snake-like product on your workbench. Did I pick up another 40? No. I only have that 140. I have a 40, a 45, a 60, a 55. I have another 40, but it's an Amazon red case 40. And I'm not crazy about those red case 40s. So I'll buy another servo. I'll just buy a servo to match those servos in 6 days when I get paid. Can we get a tourist unboxing today? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me get back off the distraction track. Just so we can have the pieces attached, even if these don't turn out to be the right locations, at least they'll be attached. I think this is where I usually go here. Yeah, those two mods are rapidly turning into the go-to around here. Vanquish should try leading the market with ingenuity and parts variation on their kits, RTRs, instead of focusing on gouging their loyal customer base. They want to be like cell phone companies. They want to take advantage of new people. They want to lure new people in, and they want to treat the people that have been loyal to their products as if they don't exist, except for a couple times a year where they can say, "We did this for your benefit. We did this because we love you. Please come and buy a truck of fortune." And most of you are not going to do well. I wish they made the 2 mods in black. Honestly, the charcoal ones are like, I think I have some 80s. If I can find out what drawer they're in. Yeah, like this is absolutely fine. This is absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with this at all. Are the battery straps the snake-like things? I thought he meant that I was going to get bitten by a snake because I had forgotten there was a 40 kg on the bench, which I had. If I had another 40 kg, we'd be set. But I don't. So we'll just order one. We'll just get one. We'll unbox a Turista while we're at it. Why not? You know? I think that's right. Oh, let's slippy slap a tie rod on here and see if it's the right length. Oh, I think I have a hollow ball too. 2 mods do indeed work great. I put blues on my Baja. They look great. They're so cheap. They are reasonably leak free in stock configuration, but they fit Traxxas seals, so that basically makes them leak free. I don't think that screws the right length, but I don't think these knuckles have ever been assembled. Oh, no, I had to buy plastics. That's right. These knuckles have not been assembled. So I'm going to have to build drag links. You know what? We'll get to we'll get to it when we get to it. Straight axle. Stank. God, I wish I could find that guy with his compressor. Throw him into the sea. It's been going for like 2 hours. The frequency is just perfect. I watched a video of 2 fans playing catch in McCovey Cove outside the Giants Stadium. My first thought was, who's the dick to be the first to overthrow it? Oh, yeah. Some people don't know how to play catch. When my eldest was younger, we would play catch, and oh man, that is not close. That's not close either. Yeah, these link lengths are imperfect. Yeah, it's definitely an all for. I can just hear it in the distance. It stopped. That's how I know it's a compressor. It keeps stopping and then coming back on again. I need a PA amplifier, fairly big one if you can get your hands on it, and we'll just play the tugboat horn into the 10,000 watts of PA power, and we'll aim it right at that guy's house so that he can experience what it feels like to just have her for hours on end. Ugh, pancakes, man. I won't do it. Hitachi and Senko both used to make a little shotgun, little double tube shotgun, where it would perfectly run a pinner or a trim nailer, and we would take that one to do jobs in people's houses. And generally, people would have a sofa. If you go to a person whose house is big enough, they'll always have a sofa that's kind of out in the open, like not directly against a wall. Like the sofa would go over and there'd be a little end table in the corner with like a fancy lamp on it. And we would put the compressor, because there's always an outlet back there. We would put that compressor behind that table over in the corner, and we'd be fixing trim and doing whatever in their house. And the people would invariably, this was before the days of, battery operated nailers. And as we were cleaning up at the end of the day, the people would be like, "How are you shooting nails? Like, we could hear you shooting nails, but we didn't hear a compressor. The thing makes no noise." We used to say it sounded like a sewing machine, which is pretty much what it sounded like. So life is too short to run a damn pancake oilless. Terrible. I've got a bigger DeWalt too that we use for roofing until its internal regulator blew out, and now it tries to gas itself up to like 300 psi. You've heard the compressor kick on here. It's a 35-year-old Sanborn oiler that I change its oil about once every 5 years or so. Every 5 or 7 years I change the oil in it. I don't know why some places run compressors that are so loud. Well, anything dual stage is going to be really loud. Yeah, so this guy has got either this front upper is too short or this front upper is too long, and the pinion angle could be a little bit better. So I would just do this. If we can catch something on time, might as well catch it on time. Well, what I did is I ordered more balloons because the balloon that I use now, somebody was taking something out of a cabinet in the kitchen, and a bag of balloons fell out. And I'm pretty sure the bag of balloons was from some birthday party, probably close to a decade ago. So I went through like 8 balloons, getting one that the latex didn't just rip in half when I tried to install the balloon. So I ordered some balloons off of Amazon that are bigger. The colored part, the party balloons I used are from a party store that's out of business now. So yeah, that was all it took. Straight up and down now. And pinion angle better. Look at that. Look what we've done. Look what we've done. And I don't think it matters which way I run this brace, because it's actually, we're in the uppermost hole. I'm going to have to do, not Link Olympics, but I'm going to have to do some Link, like rod end adjustment. I want to lengthen these out so I can run them one more hole forward. So, like, this won't compress any further because the rod ends are hitting the chassis brace. It's an easy fix, presumably. From where I'm standing right now, it feels like an easy fix. I gotta get shocks. What do we think? In terms of sub $30 tires, what Mavericks? Like it's almost certainly going to be Enjoras, right? Because I have to buy 2 sets of tires. Well, I mean, I don't have to, but I'll be buying 2 sets of tires, I think is more accurate. I think I have an old Posh airbrush compressor. It's shoved in a drawer. I haven't had to use it since I got that thing that's buried in there. The one that just runs off those tool batteries. I love that thing. I don't use an airbrush often enough, mostly because of time-tempered traumas. Sputter posted a picture of Tank has shown up. It's out on a rock. Hey! I hope that means that his Job interview went well. Let's hope for that. Yes, Mavericks in more sizes, please. Listen to us when we say this with our mouths and our hearts, in Jorah. More sizes would be amazing. Look at that. Look at that. It's in a faraway land. It's in a faraway land. Got them Scorpios on there. Got those retired 105s that have been put together and taken apart so many times. Got that red cat body that I repainted on the outside with, I think, gunmetal. I think that's just Kelly green. I don't even know if that's RC specific paint. I don't remember. I have very minimal recollection of even painting that thing. I know I did it. In its forever for now home. Forever for now. Yeah, it's still living. It went north. Still living that West Coast life. The left coast is the best coast. So, what I figure we'll do is next week is giveaway again. We'll get somebody to do the names again. And that's the Bushido. And then we'll give away another one in June. Probably the second week of June, which would be what? Something like the 13th, 14th, 15th, somewhere in there. Forever. We'll just, we'll do it. We'll do as we go. We'll get these finished out. I will because my goal here is, amateur as it might be, my goal is to kind of make them out to be mostly the same, but a straight one and a portal one. And I believe I have enough fusions that I can contribute fusion SEs to both. I should be able to contribute a fusion SE to both. Back on the AR60 body, in Endure Post, they have it on some Endure branded axles. Yeah. FYI, the AR45P trail gear housing takes a reverse cut gear with no modifications. Well, the number of axles that don't is definitely smaller than the list of ones that do. Famously, we know who doesn't. Oi, hoi, manoi. I just now noticed that the sliders on the straight axle are cut. Like I said, some parts have arrived, parts have been bought. I had to buy a skid. I had to buy front axle plastics for the straight, because now you can buy. Am I fired from doing names? You guys can both do the names. There was a giveaway last week, semi-unannounced, and MKRC wasn't here, so the raccoon did it. Yeah, the raccoon seemed to have a great time doing it. If everybody wants to do it, that's fine. A best case scenario for me is people arguing over who's going to do it, not me struggling to find somebody to do it. We have to open 2 boxes. We have to open 2 boxes because we're kind of opening them out of order. Et voila. Damn it, they got me back. I wonder how many times some of these foams have crossed the country back and forth. Because I'm almost positive that I've sent some of these very foams that way. And now they come back to me. So these exact foams will go into the box of whoever wins the next one. And then these foams will be their problem. I mean, they aren't perfect for this, are they not? I already love the end of this Outrunner that looks like the bottom of a well-used frying pan. They got me good. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I done got. I have some big plastic storage bins over here that I just stuff full of fumes. The note. Yeah, this box is this box is DJ Dunzo. However many travels and traverses that box might have made, that was its last trip. That one gets cut up for sure. It's like a matte baseline. Yeah, the circle of life of foams. That compressor's going again. Heavy barrel. They did warn me that a Tula was coming. So 7 or an 8. 7. Nice. That's the way. Uh-huh. We unboxing. That axle's a little on the narrow side. Bam blam. Got some inverse 2 mods. We got 50 kg up front. Got a secure Escape 70. That looks like a Surpass. Most of it's polished off. Yeah, Surpass of X amount of kV. Where the kV used to be is look at that end. Like I said, looks like an old. I think it's from rubbing on there. That thing is well polished on the end there. All right. We'll do the usual cleanup. Clean it up, clean it down. Doesn't look like it needs a whole lot. 2 mods got that slowness. Did you hit me with the factor $200 off too? Preferred sub 100 millimeter tire? None. I try not to operate below 419s. I think 425s are amazing. Oh, it's got headlights. It's got headlights and indicators. What does the magnet go to? Is that a Trixie magnet? I don't know what I did with those body clips. Oh, here they are. Yeah. I need to follow this more. I don't know if this was their intention, but if you put a magnet, if you hot glue a magnet under there, you can just slap your body clips on your body and then they don't go walkabout. I should do that more. Oh, hey, wait here. Wait here. I'll be right back. I'm back. I think I would probably, like, if I was going to do this actively, I would think 2 magnets. I would put one in the bed and one in the... I mean, I'm more of a lanyard guy. But the magnet is a pretty good idea. Baseline's been running the same set of body clips for so long that they started off as black and they're all silver now because all of the little black oxide has worn off of them. I need a blue. I wasn't gone that long. I said, wait here, I'll be right back, and I was. I do see a little bit of fastener optimization that I'm gonna try to avoid doing, but I'm gonna end up doing because that's, let's be honest, it's just what happens. Let's I keep shopping the building to see if I have another RC4GS V2, and I can't find one. I know I've got one. I got an 850, yeah, 850 will do. I want to put a small Neo on my frame rail. Oh, neodymium, yes. The best for like putting on a frame rail would be those the magnets with the hole in it, because then you could literally just bolt it to the frame. Channel 1 is this. Stir. Where's plus? Man, I haven't had to hook up a Spectrum receiver in a hot minute. Stir. This should all be in agreement with one another. I don't even know if this thing has like reversing on it or anything. I just remembered that it was sitting there and I don't have to hunt for a radio. Oh my god, I hate Spectrum so much. God. We're going to make it difficult to even get the plugs in because we hate you. These receivers sell for like $50. Egregious. Nice. There's reversing. Oh, there we go. Throttle, reverse. I mean, a decent system will all compromises have been made. See an active compromise made here. That front drive shaft angle is not optimal, but If we clock that axle forward, there will be no caster left at all. So, yeah. I mean, it's got a little bit of swing. It's got a little bit of bump steer. It's got a little bit of all the things, but you know, it all depends on what we're working with. This is that chassis with the slots in it. I could put an FMM on here and get that hideous Tulo out of there. Yeah, I always go caster over drive shaft angle too. Yeah. Who did the 3D printed knob for the RC6? I don't know. There has to be somebody on the Discord that has done it. I got mine from a local guy. I asked him if he could make them for me, and he borrowed a radio for about a week, and he came back and he gave me like 50 of those knobs. So whoever is designing new ones, I'll probably need some sooner rather than later. Well, you don't want Spectrum? You don't want a little SLT3 action? That's the thing, though. You're far better off with a crap radio and a good system than you are with a good radio and a crap system. So, that is a lot. That's the full 30, isn't it? Thing got the surge on it. Yeah, at least the SLT3 will do this. So, advantage there. Where's this JST plug into? There's no... It's a direct power servo. It's just wires flangling around. Look at this little guy. Look at him just being a little guy. Just a little guy. It almost feels like a crowdfunding moment for a radio link. This will just cram into the receiver. Oh, we can do better than that. That means I have to plug another thing into this ass receiver. Like I said, if I could have found another V2 radio link, I would be hooking this up to a radio link right now. Now we find out if I hit it. I did. And now, amazing. Probably put a little maybe say zip tie on that. Keep the wires out of the spinny bits. Don't blame me for the radio. Nice. It's nice. He's like a little guy. He's like a little guy. It's got the slightest bit of... Boy, can you tell this radio doesn't have endpoints? Do this. That's better. SR, which is like setting dual rate, is like setting endpoints in both directions at once. It's not bad. You know, the wiring gets tucked in the battery straps. That's pretty good. It's a guy. It's a little guy. Like, and am I remembering? Break it down again. I'm doing a Turista. And then I gave my SLT 3-step Coyote into a mate as was the correct transmitter. Oh, yeah. This is a perfect radio for a boat. My boat is still using a TQ. Like, it's a boat. It ain't need much. So, I'm not making this up. I feel like I need to mention it, though. It's tangentially relevant. Someone on the Discord posted earlier today that there's a new firmware out for the RC8X, the expensive radio link. And the new firmware for the RC8X allows you to run up to 16 channels. Turns it into a 16-channel radio. And I was like, unless that firmware makes it so that it drinks less battery, or it makes it so that it's easier to see the display in the sun, I'm not really interested. And they were like, but so many channels. And I said, here's what they do. If you go to radio manufacturer, it doesn't matter which one it is, it doesn't matter what radio they're manufacturing, and you say, I have some ideas for some quality of life improvements on this radio, that radio, whatever radio it is. That manufacturer goes, here, have some more channels. So, as out of curiosity, as I had made that statement, I wandered around this building, and full disclosure, I didn't catch them all. I didn't go full Pokemon. I didn't count any of the go fasts. I just did a soft, informal poll where I ended up walking around, and who needs 16 channels on anything other than maybe an airplane? So think pistol grip. Who needs 16 channels of pistol grip? So I walked around and I counted them up. Channel usage. You won't believe it. You won't believe it. You think I made it up. We ended up polling 77 rigs in the building. Mind you, of course, that's not all of them. And of the 77 polled, vehicles using, now I might have missed a count or two here or there because I didn't count anybody with 5 channels. I counted 4 channels 11 times. So that will usually be like a Phoenix. So you've got steering, throttle, OD, and dig. That's 4. Or like our trail rigs have steering, throttle, and 2 speeds. So they only have 3. Then you have a number of rigs that are steering, throttle, and dig. You've got 4-wheel steer, which is just throttle, steering. So they tend to only be 3. I didn't count anybody that's using like a little independent switch for lighting. I don't consider lighting to be a channel. I do have lighting programmed into some. Also, I didn't count winches. So a winch would be another channel, and it would involve mixing. But anyway, 4-channel rigs, 11. 3-channel rigs, exactly twice as many, 22. 22 rigs of the rough count, not counting Turistas, not counting stuff still in boxes, not counting stuff like these guys over here that haven't been built yet, right? 11 4-channels, 22 3-channels, and again, you're not going to believe it. Double it again, 44 2-channels. 44, 22, 11. So presumably, if I went out and I did a much tighter count, it would adjust those numbers because I would have forgotten, oh, that guy actually does have dig in him and you forgot to count it. And I would probably find 1 or 2 rigs out here on 5 channels. I know that the Traxxas used to, but then I took out his lockers. So I just put him on spools. So now he's down to 4 because he would have been on 6, which means he fills a receiver. You haven't lived until you put a horn in your crawler? I do need a horn. I think 8 channel would be the max. You need dig, 2-speed, lights, front diff, rear diff, winch. I wish multiple positions could turn lights on and off. You can. I do it on the RC6s like this. Some of those light controllers, they want to be put on and on off like that. But if you do this, it'll act it as a switch. And if you go, it'd be another one. That's another one. I can't remember who has a lighting controller on it, and I have it set to one of these, but that's how I have to turn the lights on and off. The TQI that's on my TRX6 has more channels than used. Yeah. You're not a man if you're running more than 1 channel, steering and throttle in one. I mean, it could be done. It's gonna make bumping out of positions really difficult, like extraordinarily difficult. Directly over onto an available spot on the plastic rack, which is where all the giveaways live. I don't even know if anybody can hear me. It's where all the giveaways live until the giveaways get given away. That's where they all live. I'm trying to clean off the bench a little bit. Too much stuff to put away, you know? There we go. There we go. I can see bench again. I can see bench again a little bit. It was the smallest array of balloons that I could find. Amazon wants you to buy like a bajillion balloons. I didn't want a bajillion balloons. I wanted a small handful of balloons. With a tow truck, which might need 6. Yeah, that's what I've said. I will typically just buy an RC4, and I will be an RC6. I used to say if I need more than 5 channels, I'll buy an RC6. I have a bunch of RC6s, and I don't have anything with even 5 channels. Is there for the balloon horn? I mean, honestly, who doesn't love the balloon horn? We're going Walgreens sells singles. Dang it. My brother-in-law is disabled with only 20% on one hand. There's a DX7 with throttle and steering being on the right stick. Oh, well, I mean, that's completely different. You could definitely do it on one stick. But like our joke was that like the steering wheel, this is for so you can only turn right when going forward and you can only turn left in reverse. No, you could absolutely one stick it. I would actually be trying to find some sort of conversion dongle to operate something like imagine, if you will, imagine something that transfers the signals of, say, like the old Atari single stick controller into, feeds that out to a receiver. Like, I would much rather have, like, if you gave me something to grasp that I can use to, I think I could actually do it. A Logitech flight stick. I could probably actually do it. I don't actually know if I could, well, I could try, but I don't know if I could control a vehicle just holding the tiny little stick on a dual stick controller. There used to be a gyro on a smart TV. Now we need it to control an RC. Oh, yeah. Drive a controller with an air mouse. Apparently there's a drone. One of the drones, that's the way it flies. You hold a thing in your hand and you go like this, and that's how you fly it. I can't do that. I'd be leaning into it. This is something I started doing over a day ago. That hot racing radio was kind of like that. Ah. Nope. Need more than that. Somebody said that my wheels were ugly. Somebody on the Discord said, you don't have any room to talk. The wheels on the pickle are disgusting. And I was like, well, that's mean. So I bought him some other wheels. And now the giveaway rig is going to get disgusting wheels. I'm sure they're not going to complain about it because they're triols. And I'm going to... So I wanted to make ugly wheels. So, like, I mean, they might not be the sexiest thing you've ever seen, but I don't think they're disgusting. So I ordered green wheels, and then I ordered green rings, and I was desperately hoping that they would show up looking different. These were $20. That's my Amazon. The blue wheels that are on Cheeto were $20, and these were $20. Every once in a while, Triol wheels. When's the Reactor Ghost Ride? Like a month ago. So I ordered green wheels and green beadlock rings from separate sellers because they didn't have them together. And I was genuinely hoping that the greens wouldn't match so that we could, lean into that pickle vibe. But unfortunately for me, they actually match perfectly. Like, if you can get up to that edge, that green and that green are the same green. Like, they're the same color. So I just got green 105s. You aim for something ugly and you end up with just green 105s. I'm not heartbroken about it. It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. Just get the other one out. I have more than one. What are we going to change? That was a touch and go moment right there. I could have just spun that fastener around, and then I've been like, well, I guess we're just remounting it on the other wheel. Yeah, better anodized than element. Yeah, I made the plastic rings to keep the weight down. Then I realized he runs 4S now. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. Mount him up and go. He had a week off. He's looking forward to getting back out there. I hadn't even thought of that, but man, that is stunningly accurate. That two different green parts from two different sellers are much closer in color than Element anodizing parts to be sold together as a kit. We pray for the best, right? Because we like Element. I like Element. I want to see an Element turnaround. How good would an Element turnaround be? The Trail spider web, but not changeable hub. Yeah. $15 minutes. Can it be? I guess so. Like, say what you will. This Element right here has been not completely trouble-free. That would be a ridiculous thing to say. But has been largely trouble-free. And now I know. If the cruise control number starts to go up to maintain the same speed, it is because something is going terribly wrong somewhere on the vehicle, and I should stop and address it rather than driving on it for several more weeks until the pinion consumes a bearing. Well, consumed a bushing. He's already finished printing a link to it. Nice. Nice. Put it to work. Man, you can tell it's G8. These things have been through water. They've been up and down here and there. You knock these 6 screws out, tire just comes right off. You have a J Concepts green tire or an OT6 or something, and it's been on there for even a week. Well, it helps if it's unbolted all the way. These just come out. Also, there was an underlying reason, right? Laziness always rears its head. I actively remembered turning down plastic rings for Trio, and I couldn't remember where I put them because I want 2 of them for the Cheeto. Or did I either want 2 of them for the Cheeto or all 4 for Cheeto? I can't remember. I'll have to pull his tires off and refresh my own memory. Yeah, I've had tusks where I have that little trim tool. He's falling behind the keyboard. Where I have to get this guy up under there and literally unmount a tire. I have to use a tire tool because I'm afraid if I just start pulling on it, I'm afraid I'm going to rip the tire. Cheeto's a pretty solid guy. That's one, and I'm building another one almost exactly like him. This is how it goes, only this time it was like in reverse. Because I built Lloydberg. That's what it was. I built Lloydberg, and then I was like, we could do that again, and I ended up building Cheeto out of it, and now I'm going to build another Cheeto for one of the giveaway trucks. Because I basically have accumulated all of the parts to do it. Only it's going to be on, I think I'm putting it on different axles. I think it's going on, is it on Mina Straights? It might be. It might just be Cheeto again. I cannot remember. Yeah. Am I in crazy town when I'm at home and I make chicken strips? I'm just squeezing my dislike and dipping out of the bottle onto each bite. No, that's. I think a lot of people do that. I mean, I'm not going to argue. I can't make any statements about 105s. Let me see if I can go off of muscle memory. Oh, I thought they still had them in them, but I've already removed those. Well, that's 8 holes. Oh, and then of course, these are the reds. I've probably bought. I feel like I say if I've bought 15 sets of 105s, that's probably not enough. Just cheap. They look good. What's your favorite outrunner for a beefy rig 7+ pounds? You will most likely be able to get away with a Rhino S12. Rhino S20 is absolutely going to do you. A Rhino S20 is right up there with most powerful outrunner I've used, and it's like a 35-32. A Rhino S12 will move most anything, particularly if you're piping 4S to it. But if you're piping 3S to it, I don't hesitate to recommend the Rhino S20 in the KV of your choice. Because we'll grab one more. Grab one more. So, for what he is, for 3 axles for a 6x6, this guy is lightweight, right? Think about lightweight because he is a 6x, but 8 pounds is very light for a 6x in my estimation. And inside him, the beating heart is a Rhino S12. So this guy runs on that guy. S12 1470. He's a full-time 4S guy because he's got an RS 800 in the front, and they don't really start doing their joy until they're on 4S. But yeah, a lot of people think they need more motor than they do. And if an S12 on 4S can move 3 axles and 6 tires. Argenum is on a Pro. Bizdirection is on an S20. What's the difference between a 25-turn brush motor and an 80-turn brush motor? Which one will give me more top speed? The smaller the number, the lower the turn count, the faster the motor. Also, the more torque it makes, the more, horsepower is a measure of torque or vice versa. The more power it will make. It is not linear. Typically, no two motors are created equally. The exchange that you're making, because the wire is physically getting larger, the wire inside of a 25-turn motor could be 2 or 3 times the size of the wire because you have to wind it more times. That's the turns. You're sacrificing efficiency. You're sacrificing efficiency for power. And when you go to higher turn, it's the other way around. Do slots equal torque? Well, all things being equal, a 3 slot is going to produce more torque than a 5 slot. I know. I know. They're like, no, that's not how it works. The other one produces more. Empirically, I've never felt it. The 5-slot big blocks, the big blocks make more torque because they use neomagnets. They don't use ferrite magnets. They use rare earth magnets. So instead of a 23 millimeter rotor, they use a 28 millimeter rotor. That's why I call them big blocks. It's like they've been bored and stroked. So those motors just make more power. And because they make more power, they can take great advantage of the additional smoothness of 5-slot. That is Miata Commuter that we all have to thank for that, because I said 5-slot motors are ass. And Miata Commuter said, I've got a motor for you. And they sent me they sent me the first Surpass big block 540 plus V2s that I ever had. And now I own like 10 of them. It's the only brushed motor that I run. Life is too short. If you've committed for some insane reason and you want to run brushed, a Hobby Wing 10 BL80 and an NHX Momentum 16 turn on 3S is as close to brushed perfection as one could possibly get. Do I actively recommend this to people? Not really, because it costs the same money as a Fusion SE. It costs the same money as a secure Escape 32 combo. It's going to objectively deliver less power than both of those. Or, 4S. 20 turn on 4S, 16 turn on 4S. It does have that advantage. It's not all disadvantages. A very smooth brushed system is very nice. The big blocks on a 10BL80 is very, very nice because it rewards you with something that the electronic assistances don't. You take this guy, that's an Elite in there. You take an Elite, you set your torque you set your cruise, point it, and it will just go. It will plow through until it snaps something, because that's what field-oriented control does. When you run that brushed system, it's very near to the smoothness of a Fusion, but it does not have that FOC feel. When you stall it into something, you can stall it, and you can run that power. Didn't I? Best outrunner for heavy rig 7+ pounds, Rhino S20. Has been and will always be Rhino S20. But if you're closer to the 7-pound range, you can get away with an S12. But if you're going to buy it once, buy once, cry once, spend the extra $10 and get the S20. Because it's a 35-32. It's not like it's going to be so big that it's going to stop fitting in things. I got to make sure you're all on your toes. I got to keep you on your toes. Fusion 8th the world. If it will fit, put it in 4S. I got 2 of them. I have 2 Fusion 8s. A full size and an SE. Well, a full one and an SE. One is in a crawlerized Rift, and the other one's in a Baja 1000. And I have literally nothing else here that I would put those motors in. They are too much. Watch the video on Tuesday. Watch the video. For all of the people who are curious about the 8, if you've never run one and you have a curiosity, do watch the video on Tuesday, which is the Baja 1000 on an 8. Because it's ridiculous. That's what it is. I think I have a drawer just for these with the knurly heads. I do. The fitment of these was also extraordinarily good. Where look at the heads of the bead lot of the screws going into the rings were so tight that my hands were full of little green flakes from where the little reeding on the outside of the screw heads was scraping the anodization off. So while they may be similar in size, one of the only applications for which I will use a Fusion 8 is the 11 pounds of fury that is that guy. Oh, he made me so happy. I got to use the heaviest springs. 3.4s, 2.8s, and he's got that 2-mod action. Look at the blue. So good. So good. Oh, it's good. And I don't know if I mentioned last time, but I definitely mentioned on the Discord the pro tip. If you're going to buy 4, it only costs 50% more to buy 6. 2 tires that, unless I grenade these. Oh, these would be the guy who doesn't like screws. These are the bead locks for him because these are true bead locks. You see there's nothing on the inside. To take this tire off, you have to take all of these bolts out. And there are 2.5s. You have to take all the 2.5s out, unmount the tire, and then put the ring back. And these are actual bead locks. But try to tell me that they don't look good, because we all already know that they do. They look real good. They are commitment wheels. I'm not telling you to go out and buy these, because these are a commitment. You are committed to running that tire. And I had to unmount them to remove the canyon trails so that I could mount those. I don't want to do that again. Is there a chance I'm going to tear one of those tires? The chance is never 0, unfortunately. I've got a set of old bead locks with rings front and back. Yeah, but they were typically like 6 bolts or 8 bolts. How close is that body to the origin body? It's quite a bit larger, because it has an endo cage. There's a cage inside of it. So these might not go out of here for months, because we've got ones ahead of them. That was the finest sand that came out of that guy. But these guys will be on the giveaway circuit before the end of the year. Don't you worry about that. And we still have 3 more builds. I have to do that on my carbon. I bought those trail and didn't pay attention. Had true beadlock wheels with 36 bolts each side of each rim. Absolutely not. Dude, I do like fart flute as a... The beauty of the fart flute is are they twins? This is a stance on straights. This is a stance on portals. So they're fraternal twins, because we got a portal and a straight. Why? Because I have one set of straight axles and one set of portal axles. So the goal will be to put an 1800 in him and a 1200 in him and see if we can get them to go about the same speed. And because they're not leaving super soon, we can get together the parts to make them same servo in each, same wheels on each, etc., etc. How do you make that flute? So what you do is you take this 3/4 inch. I don't know what do you guys have in Europe? Like, what do you guys have PVC pipe, right? So this is 3/4 inch schedule 40, right? You cut a piece off of it about 1 inch long. That's what's right here. You put that inch long piece into the neck of the balloon. Then you stretch the rest of the neck of the balloon over it. So you're making this. This is where all the sound comes from. and then you just put tape around it to hold the balloon on it. That's actually balloon tape. That's tape. Adhesive from the tape. So all the sound, most of the sound actually comes. So if we plug it, most of the sound actually comes from right here, because you can see how a little bit out of here. Oh, pro tip. Just do it in the sink. Like, you got to get that balloon wet. If you try to stick a chunk of PVC pipe dry into the end of a balloon, it will just rip that balloon. So hopefully you have more than one balloon on hand when you attempt that kind of stupidity. So we've attempted all the stupidity that we're going to attempt for today. I'm going to go get a coffee drink, and then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to stare into Stance Pro and Ultra. They will have fusions in them. I'm at least committed to that. I saw somebody that used like 2-inch PVC, and it's like, whoa. Any spoilers? You know what? I'll give you one good one. I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just going to set it down, and you can use your eyes. The upcoming episode is entitled Canyon Change Plus Ultra. See, I don't know if holes at the end would change the sound, because the membrane is, I don't know. I mean, I could try it. It takes very little effort to drill some holes into a PVC pipe. So I will see you all in the next one. Oh, we got to get her out here. We'll do this. We'll spin this, and then I'll just set it atop. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all the people that donated. Thanks to the people that just hung out. All of the usual stuff. I apologize for any people that I was supposed to, if they asked a question and I didn't answer it. You gotta ask multiple times, because more often than not, I am as easily distracted as anyone. So I will see you in the next one. If you want your little bit of spoiler, here you go. Canyon Change Plus Ultra. Look at that guy. Is he under 4 pounds? No. Is he over 4 pounds? Well, he's less than 4.1 RTR. So yes, the squirrels are demanding that I refill the bird feeder. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get a coffee drink. I will see you all next time, everybody. Look at that.